Welcome VOD Squad and Precogs and Gurky. You've joined just in time for the most riveting gameplay you've ever seen.
Yeah, what are we doing today, Adam?
Well, I'm scrapping items on the floor.
Oh.
Get the fuck out. You know
Back
why?
in the kitchen, bitch.
You know why? Where'd the ashtray go? You know why I'm scrapping items on the... Oh, there's more stuff that I left out here.
Why, Adam?
It's because... this is how you glitch the system to let you build more things.
Oh.
You could also just scrap other things that were originally part of the map, like these tires. And indeed, this trash does not need to be here. But when you run out of stuff like that, you want to artificially increase the limit on how much stuff you can build. Nothing more can be built. You have to scrap other stuff. So, like, if I went to this gentleman and got out of my power armor, because you get better deals outside of power armor. I don't really understand why. I understand why your strength score changes to the power armor, but...
Hey, Carl.
Need to pick something up? Road's pretty long from here.
Yes, I do.
Let's see what you got.
Always happy to make a sale.
Hey, Gabe V. Gen, welcome to the chat.
My god, he's here so fast.
He knew, because he's a precog.
Ah.
We're playing some more Fallout 4.
Take my several hundred bottles of purified water. Yeah.
Goodness, Gertie is such a cuddly puppy.
Aww. Should have had the camera so we could show how cute he is. And with the lights on and everything, we can see.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Well, not with the lights on. I mean, like with the sun.
With the daytime.
Yeah.
With the day on.
With the day on, yeah. The sun on.
The sun. Click. You said good timing on this. About to have my dinner.
Ah, that's always the best, is when you get something
to watch while you eat, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's find a nice patch of ground. You know, I think this is a bad patch of ground. We should look for superior... This is perfect. Nice and smooth.
Sure.
Optimizing our gameplay, you see.
So, what does this do?
The top right of the screen, when I go into build mode, you can see a size meter. It's yellow, meaning it's full. So, if you scrap things from your settlement, that means that the settlement is smaller, and therefore the game will have less difficulty loading your settlement, right? It's a limitation for consoles, right? But it still applies to PC unless you mod it out. So to go around it, if you throw things on the floor and scrap them, it thinks that you're scrapping things like this tree, which would actually help the map load better. Cool. And of course I have a mod that makes it possible to scrap like the road and stuff, so I have to quick save often so I don't do something stupid like that. And if you haven't seen it, this is where I produce all of the monetary funds for my settlement.
Ah, yes. Your water tower.
Yes. Okay. So, I've realized My normal strategy of harvesting lots of purified water and then I'm just gonna make a loud generator, I guess. So my normal strategy of harvesting lots and lots of purified water and then using that to buy all the things I need is proving to be good.
Just need to go outside.
Control yourself. Shush. So loud licking yourself. Alright. So the ammunition... Oh, ammunition plant needs a... So I've realized that is an inefficient way of... Miscellaneous? Yeah. Don't tell me that settlement is full again after one generator thing. Need no shrub. Yes. Okay. So we need 5mm. So I've determined it's an inefficient system to try and just buy all the things I need, because for some reason stores just don't sell 5mm, and I don't really know why, but far be it from me to question. I will simply make it work. So now, start producing. Oh, I probably need like a... storage thing. Conveyor storage. Well, you know, I really don't like these hedges.
Nice.
So, eventually, I'll be able to use my minigun. Until then,
Story mode?
yes.
Excellent.
Let's work with the doggo. Oh, wait. I need my power armor. Well, I don't need my power armor. I want my power armor. I'm going to have my power armor.
You'll be more American with the power armor on, so...
Oh, you know, I took the America colors off because they were starting to annoy me, but
that's okay.
because they're so like cartoonishly bright. So I was gonna swap it out for like chrome, but then I didn't have enough chrome for the whole thing. But then I realized explosive shielding actually did something.
That's some serious protection.
So
Oh, I see, yeah.
yeah. Chrome gives you more energy resistance, and then explosive shielding, as you might imagine, gives you protection from explosives. So I figured until I get an actual explosive heavy weapon, that makes the most sense to do. So. Oh, should I... Should I tie up any loose ends with the Brotherhood of Steel? I don't have to, right? I can do this quest and then we can decide.
Sure.
Because the Brotherhood of Steel appear in the Commonwealth once you do this quest.
Okay.
Also, I was thinking I couldn't do Dance's affinity thing. I don't think that's true, though, because it's not that necessary that I use jet with this character, because, you know, power armor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Power armor, heavy weapons kind of like makes it more possible if you have the resources to support that playstyle. Meaning purified water.
Pupper.
Dog meat. Get the scent, boy. Get Kellogg, boy. Take me to that son of a bitch.
Okay. So now we follow dog meat. Also, I acquired a, I did the little, like, the area that you pick up this Tesla heavy weapon, so
Oh, cool.
we'll all get to see together how effective that is. I shot it once, and I was a little, like, surprised, I guess.
Was it a good surprise or a bad surprise?
I was just surprised the game didn't lag while I was shooting it.
Oh.
So, what do we think about that NPC control fetish?
The NPC TikToks.
Yeah, the NPC, yeah. I can... So, like, I watched, Brett Cooper talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I watched, Ben Shapiro talk about it, and, it was interesting. Without the audio on, I saw, like, the, like, kawaii elf girl doing it, where she's, like, kind of dancing, and I was like, oh, this seems, like, cute or whatever. I could see someone...
Turned on the audio.
Yeah, I could see... I could see someone who's, like, really lonely, you know, just be like, yeah, guess this is my life. So these things used to be kind of rare in Fallout 3, and it was always exciting when you found one, because it meant that there was going to be some, like, crazy loot. But
Yeah, I remember.
now it's more like...
Kind of nice, though.
Yeah, I kind of like them being more common, sort of. It's a cute little piece of history that they're capturing, because those did exist.
Right.
Okay.
San Francisco Sunlights. Kellogg's preferred brand, all right. What do you think, boy? Enough to go on?
But yeah, then you turn the audio on and it's like, ice cream, yum yum. It's like, oh fuck. Lady, what are you doing with your life?
The like the black girl who's like the founder of it, she does it terribly.
Founder.
Yeah, like the person who started the trend, she does it terribly. The other people do it way better.
I mean, it's already kind of a lower scale. Oh wow.
Oh.
Lightning just gets everywhere.
Oh, you okay, buddy?
Ooh, Stimpack.
Oh, I didn't realize the chain lightning.
Yeah. One would hope that it wouldn't friendly
To that scum.
Well, it won't hurt her, but I guess it will hurt her.
Man, they even animate like the dog being hurt. It makes you feel so bad.
Oh. You know, I never really noticed the whole vocal fry thing, because I was realizing I was talking with it. I kind of, I don't know, like, yeah, I never really noticed it. There was like some podcasts that were like talking about it, playing clips, and being like, "Man, that is god awful." But then I saw that like vocal. There's some like viral guy who went viral because of his like vocal coach thing, and
Getting
then
close, boy.
like he was just talking
Let's
about the
go.
facts of like linguistics, and then he shifted from that to being like you know, like virtue signal and stuff. Oh wow, you're really gonna do this, huh? Get the fuck out of the way.
You can't just
Lost
tell
the
him
center
to
point.
move.
115.
He has to be taught.
Oh.
I could turn on no clip,
Notice
I
anything
suppose.
suspicious.
Okay.
What is it, boy? What are we looking for?
Oh.
Bloody bandages. Dog meat can track this. What do you think, boy? Enough to go on?
So,
Is there any relationship status based on how you treat dog meat?
I don't think so.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have him as a follower at the same time you have another follower, I think.
Right.
You know, I'm not sure about that. I think he doesn't count. I think he's separate. But anyway, that guy was doing, like, he has some very interesting video that went viral, and he tried to capitalize on it with, like, YouTube and did terribly. I think he just paid a studio to do these, like, two-minute videos, or not even 2 minutes, like a minute and something, answering, like, answering a question each video that was like super brief, and he did like 3 videos, and it was like it looked like it was like professionally shot, but somehow it was uploaded in like nothing you know, you're making me feel like I gotta switch guns. Alright.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll use this. Sorry, Tom. It had to be done. Legendary over here. Oh.
Oh, it's all over now.
We gotta stick together, pal. At least until we find Kellogg.
Anyway, yeah, he did a video, and he had some woman come on, and then he was like, I want to do an experiment. He talked with like a little bit of a vocal fry, and then he was like, I'm going to have this woman do a vocal fry, and then, maybe that's here. And then she talks in like a super annoying voice with the vocal fry, and then he was like, if you found her more annoying, maybe you're a bigot!
What
And
did you
it's
find?
like,
Oh, yeah?
now I hate people with a vocal fry, as it turns out. As a matter of principle.
Yeah.
It was interesting because I decided that, I think, I decided, what even happened here? Alright, I'm out of here. I decided Morrigan in Treading Water was going to have a vocal fry. No, not Morrigan.
Yeah, Morrigan has the vocal fry, right?
No.
Or no, it was the Slay in the White Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mix those up. But,
Soft purring.
But yeah, so I was looking up all sorts of stuff on vocal fries and like what people's perception of them was, to see if it was like something that I could do and make cute. Just because I'm just gonna double check. Is he? Oh, how did we get here? Alright, let's just...
Dog meat. The scent boy.
Playful bark. Oh.
mid stout. One of his creature comforts.
Okay, so we're on the right track, I guess, if he left a cartoonishly bad trail
What do you
across the
think,
Commonwealth.
boy?
Although, I don't
Enough
know,
to
I
go
mean, I
on?
guess this would be how you would travel, really. I mean, they show enough stuff where you're kind of like... If this feels like how you track someone across the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Like that they would stop and pull a chair over and stuff. It just, I guess it feels slightly off because you don't do that as a player. Like, you don't have the ability to move around chairs, or, like, and you wouldn't need to because you're playing a game, kind of.
I mean, you could rest at beds.
Yeah, it's just that he positions lots of, like, stuff around that marks him in particular.
Right.
And it's like, part of it seems a bit silly because they're like, oh, it's his brand of cigars. And it's like anyone would have a preference. Anyone could have a preference. It seems a bit
Yeah, in the
dubious.
apocalypse.
Felt the.
Yeah, I was feeling the heat.
Well, I was gonna say I felt the heat was coming. I could just sense it. But yeah, I was watching all sorts of videos and reading stuff about like vocal fries and whatever. Just curious. It's not something I was like I really noticed too much
Right.
until I heard someone like complaining about it.
Yeah, I could imagine it in different scenarios being attractive or unattractive.
Signs. Alert. Critical.
Kellogg was here.
Attention.
Let's find something to track him down.
What have we here?
Error. System corrupt. I can't feel my legs.
Just tell me where Kellogg went, Tin Can.
Identity of assailant. Kellogg.
How do you know?
Alert, Bark.
Man, I guess it was. I don't know if anyone in chat has a personal take on vocal fries. Or the thing I asked before about
NPC fitter.
NPCs, yeah. Because it feels like something... Oh. That feels like something I... Yeah, this gun kind of sucks because every shot is 19 caps. And it's not that good.
It's quite expensive, yeah.
The, I mean, what else am I going to do with the ammo besides waste it, right?
Yeah.
But, it's such expensive bullets that I feel like I should be using it very carefully, but it just kind of, like, you know, it just fires out sort of, like, flippy-floppy all over the place. It's not like a railroad rifle or something.
As far as the NPC fetish goes, Gabe the Djinn responded with, "Oh God, that trend," and then perhaps too silly for me.
Yeah, it seems like something that could have been adjacent to something that would have affected me. Oh, but
In like
Stop
a different
right there.
alt universe where you went down a dark rabbit hole, perhaps.
I mean, I don't know, like, not even... Not the actual, like, streams of it, right? But that concept seems like something that could have had influence, right? Because I'm just thinking, like,
Did it.
you know, I played a lot of video games, and sometimes those things are, you know, formed from Deathclaw Egg. You can just get a death flag. I didn't think you could just get a death flag. There's a whole quest about getting a death flag. You can just pick one up.
I guess so.
Okay. Well. Why don't we go this way? I can't go this way. Ugh. We're using fire for this shit. Stingling. Get the fuck out of here. Bugs. Burn you clean of them. That's how you remove ticks, by the way. Heavy and sweet. Here.
Well, you're not wrong.
Don't worry, you're a good boy. You can't get hurt. Oh, you can get hurt. You can't die.
Not yet.
I just don't think they can. It's because like there's people who like Gen X or whatever. They all saw Star Wars when they're like 13 or something like that. I think that's how the math works out. And so they're like every single one of them has a Princess Leia outfit fetish. You know. I'll throw that generalization out there. I think it's also like an exceedingly attractive garment, so it's like yeah, I don't know.
What do you think,
It wouldn't
boy?
be shocking.
Was this our man?
Yeah, Gabe the Jin is already like, I don't know about that.
Oh, the Princess Leia outfit.
Probably.
Well, you know, it's funny when like this the one of the new Star Wars were coming out or something like that. So the fusion core is at 2, and I just can't resist the urge to just pluck it out and then put it in another one because they sell for full price no matter how much charge is in them, which it makes me think the people buying them are just stupid. Like, you don't check how much is battery, like you're buying a battery, you don't check how much charge it has. I guess maybe you can only tell if you have a Pip-Boy. Maybe they just don't know. Do you like that, by the way? When you're in combat, there's a different animation for getting in the suit. You like rush to get in.
Makes sense, yeah.
So there's like an enemy on the thing, and make you hop out quicker. Jumps in.
Bam!
Don't make me pull the trigger.
You idiot. Don't make me pull the
To
trigger.
the bug.
How did you burn? Stupid. I have the lobbing flamethrower, and you are just sitting there. And oh my god.
You ragdoll.
I didn't even see my health. I was at full health when I hopped in, so they literally did that much damage. I just didn't even consider that as an option. Do I have to fight this guy still? No, they're dead. Okay, so I must...
Oh wow. Gabe the Jin says, I never saw any Star Wars film until around the time The Last Jedi was about to come out in theaters.
Oh,
It's a
wow.
long time without seeing any Star Wars films.
Now, how old are you? Gen X, millennial, a boomer?
All the generations.
Oh,
I see it. Good boy.
What do you think, boy? Was this our man?
I think we might want to use the lightning gun for this. Oh, I missed my opportunity to save the fusion core. Challenge myself.
This can't be
Gabe the
good.
Jin says, I'm 29 now. What does that make me?
I guess theoretically you're a millennial. I was a 90s kid until the term millennial came about. Now I'm a millennial. the term 90s kid has disappeared from vernacular. Except for on, like, cringy Facebook groups.
I think I'm like technically Gen Z, but by 1 year.
Yeah. I can definitely feel you kind of being a different, like, generation.
I feel like a boomer.
I'm definitely not a millennial. Like I just don't fit into that, like, I just, other people that are millennials, it just doesn't fit. Millennial is someone who's, like, born in, like, after, I guess that's not right, because I thought millennials would be people who are born 2000 and later. I don't know.
That would be like the other generation.
Is this the place?
That would be
Is he in
Zoomers.
here, boy?
Good dog.
I can see
Huh?
why you would think.
Lock and load.
The
The
term
Institute's
millennial
going to
would refer
pay
that.
for what they've done to my family.
Hey, boy.
I'll find a way in.
Hey,
I'm ready. Hey, sweetie.
your thoughts?
It's always good to have backup.
Okay, yeah.
That was all I had.
Well, I'm here.
It would make sense if she had, like, more thoughts on, like, oh, we tracked down the guy who.
Killed or took my son. Not confirmed dead yet. Gabe DeGen says, well, I'm certainly a mixed breed, especially with my desire to enjoy things the old school way for the most part.
Yeah. We're the same age, by the way, so we're the same generation. But I saw Star Wars on VHS. I still have the VHSs, which are apparently like $100 a pop. Because they're very hard to come by, the original version. In, like, a physical
Yeah,
form.
because of all the George Lucas edits for the DVD version now.
Yeah.
So,
There are no original DVD versions, so you have to watch the VHS. Dog is available to be your companion. That's fantastic.
I think they do have like uploaded digital versions
Mhm.
of the original online though. What?
Just
oh,
no.
You got all scared?
There's no official versions.
Oh, you got all spooked? What'd you get all spooked for?
Goofy dog.
Can't even remember why he was spooked.
Alright.
Movement detected. Curious.
Got him.
Did it.
I haven't been using any slow-mo. How'd you... I guess I have a question. Is there more on this floor?
I knew you were still there. Targeting.
Hey. You can just eat a death egg.
Yum yum.
Just eat it raw.
Death egg. Yum yum.
No. Give me your ammo. Why did he have a shotgun? Oh.
Bless.
Are we done? Looks like a family. I got it.
Yeah.
Get zapped.
Get them synths.
Get literally lit up. It's supposed to have extra damage against robots, the lightning gun.
Oh, perfect.
These coffee pots, fantastic. 2 plastic, 1 asbestos, 1 steel or something. I don't know what it is. It's a couple ingredients for just 1 pound. Same with globes. It's all good stuff. Desk fans are just prime material for construction. Oh boy. That's why we have the explosive resistant coating. Why do I even open these? Why pick up loot when I can just sell purified
Got it.
water?
You can't stop me.
You're fighting electricity. Stop. Why must you be so stupid? What do we got? I don't have any cooked food. Oh, I have purified water. Perfect. All the healing I'll ever need. Now, should I reload so that I have a fusion cell, or fusion core, I guess they're called, that I could sell for the same price? Or do I just unclutter my inventory by just shooting the rest of this? I love that, where they have it distorted for what floor number it is. Such a smart asset to record. We'll warp floor.
Kill.
I'll reload it.
So, what do you guys want to see in Fallout 5?
Dude.
Oh.
They confirmed that you're going to be able to choose your gender and you can be non-binary
Attacking
in
human.
Starfield.
Oof.
What do I want to see in fucking Fallout 5?
I want to see a hard right swing in Fallout 5.
Yeah.
There you go. Was that like new news, or did you know that for a while?
I heard about it a couple days ago.
Okay.
Just figured it wasn't worth, like... So it would appear that their decision to fire Jeremy Soule was probably not based on actual facts. The only evidence I've seen that he was a bad man was a Reddit comment that said that he is hard to work with. So I guess case closed. He's This must be a shortcut to like leave the quest if you're full. Your inventory is full already. Oh yeah, further down.
Now, if it isn't my old friend, the frozen TV dinner. Last time we met, you were cozying up to the peas and apple
I resent
cobbler.
that.
It says, kinda want to see it in an alternative version of PA, and also heavy body customization.
I would like that too. I'd like you to be able to have like a really, really jacked dude. Like, I know Bethesda is really big on like making one asset and using it a million times, but I would like there to be like, I mean, I guess it's not important to have fat people, right? But from far away to see different people and be able to recognize them as separate, just by like how their bodies are kind of configured. Like a big fat guy and then a huge muscular dude. Like, I think it would be kind of cool if the NPCs had their stats affixed to a body type. So like, you have someone who's faster be like skinnier and kind of like built that way, like kind of bigger legs and like skinny and whatever. And then you have them be like a melee guy and you give them like a 30% speed boost or something. So you can kind of react to their physical capabilities based on what they look like. You know, you have someone like big and fat, they'd be slow to run to cover or something.
Naturally, yeah.
Or you have a huge jacked monster of a man with a baseball bat. It's like, oh, that's a big problem.
Let's do this.
Very tactical.
I think co-op in Fallout would be nice.
It would be, yeah. But I don't know if they're going to do that because then it would compete with Fallout 76. So
Sorry,
Fallout
your house
76
has been
being a
wrecked for
gigantic
200
failure
years.
is really...
I don't need a roommate. Leave.
Yeah, if Fallout 76 was a bigger failure, then they would put co-op mode into a regular Fallout game instead of co-op. Instead of making a terrible Fallout co-op game. I think largely people's complaints were stupid about the game. The game has like much bigger problems than like people are saying, "Oh, there's so many bugs," and it's like, I mean, not really. Like the. I mean, granted, I played it much later, but
On my door.
I don't know. The real problem is
Maybe
that they have
50-50 odds of making it to
a
Diamond City.
baked-in smoothing on the mouse. So
Figured the
like,
Commonwealth would chew you up like
when I move
chicken.
the mouse in this game, I can see what I'm looking at. Like when I move the mouse a certain amount to the right, then it just goes there.
Yes.
In order, I don't know why, right? There's a lot of reasons that people give for it, but they have smoothing on the mouse thing, and it just like gives me just the most intense rage headache every time I try to look at something. Some people argue that like if there's no smoothing, then it feels less immersive because you couldn't turn your head like that, but you could
Oh,
look.
come on.
You could look with your eyes like that.
Bad idea. Unless you really want to
You
piss
get
me
fucked
off.
up. And then it's like, oh, well, if there's crossplay with consoles, then console players can't compete. And it's like, I don't care. I don't need to compete in a Fallout game. I need to play. I need to look. And it's like, you're always
Hostile
looking
sensor
around.
reading
So it's
detected.
always
Attacking
bothering.
you.
It's to the point
Yes.
where it's just like, it's so hard to even just play the game. I know what like old people feel like when they're trying to use a controller for the first time. I just, you know, everything feels like you're playing a tank in EDF that's low level.
Look, you're pissed
That
off. I
sounds
get it. I
awful.
do. But whatever you hope to accomplish in here, it's not gonna go your way.
Game of the Gen also says co-op and Bethesda together seem to be like a curse.
Have they fucked that up before, or is it just?
Well, he was referring to Fallout 76, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what other examples there are. I guess Elder Scrolls Online? I don't know.
Also, in other gaming news, Larian, the people making Baldur's Gate 3, previously of Divinity Original Sin 2 fame, they... Oh. Is someone present?
Hey, Salem, welcome to the chat. Oh, Redfall was the most recent example. I forgot about Redfall. Yeah, that was... There was more than the co-op that was wrong with that game, though.
What is Redfall?
It was like... They tried to do this multiplayer game where it's like the zombie apocalypse, but instead it's vampires.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was a cool concept. But there was the level design was all like repetitive, and AI wasn't good, and a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Anyway, Larian, previously of Divinity Original Sin 2 fame, and now working on Baldur's Gate, their character design guy. Oh, well, that's a. I guess that's why you don't find that many things to E. Can I, like... No. Guess I can't. Does it have to be... Try to call the follower over. Yeah, so their character design person said that they won't be offering sliders for
Hey.
faces
Yes?
because that would hurt diversity or something.
Right.
So, if anyone was wondering why they still haven't added facial sliders so that you can customize your character, that would be why. You have to pick between a certain set of, like, pre-made faces. And then they didn't want to have any hairstyles that they couldn't imagine on a person of color. So, like a black person, I think that's what they mean. So, that's why they have, like, not a, you know, they have a lot of hairstyles, but I did notice they had, like, roughly 50% were, like, giant dreads or whatever. So, that's cool.
Diversity.
There's a bobblehead in this room. I can smell it. Ah,
It is.
knew it.
Hello.
You hello.
Got
By
him.
order of the Institute, you must be destroyed.
Oh yeah? For the order of my
No.
Gatling Tesla cannon. You must be zapped. I'm starting to feel like maybe this does too much damage. Maybe it's cheaty weedy. Maybe I should use a different gun. I don't know. Everything seems to do a ton of damage, and I'm on very hard. I'm on very hard, and I've increased the number of legendary enemies to like 80%, which is apparently the hard cap or something. I don't know. That's what the person making the mod claimed. Maybe they're just a big dum dum. They don't know how to make it better.
Sam says, so is bald the only
Brotherhood
option?
isn't exactly
and then
subtle when it makes
Jen
an
says,
entrance.
You got
so
guts
not
and
having fun
determination.
is their
It's
direction.
admirable.
Yeah, I
You
mean
are
basically.
in over your head in ways you can't possibly
However, there
comprehend.
are sliders in character creation, but only for... Apparently they added, like, very detailed penises and vaginas.
It's not too late.
Just what the people wanted.
Stop.
And, like,
Turn
the top
around.
comment on the video I saw on it was... I think they have it backwards.
Not a lot of
The
people
mods
can
are
say
supposed to
that.
add the penis sliders. You're supposed to add the face sliders.
Yeah, right.
And they were like, oh, is there functionality for the penises? And they're like, no, it's just so you can express your identity.
Yeah.
Like, they don't work in sex scenes or anything.
Yeah.
And everyone's heard about the bear sex scene that everyone was upset over, but apparently they've added some toe licking.
There's something wrong with these people.
You know, nothing against people licking toes, right? But that seems like too...
That seems very particular to decide to put in a game.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it doesn't seem a little specific. Like, okay, so you have like, you know, you have the you have like Sleeping Beauty, right? And they're like, or just like, you know, you have any fairy tale, right? Let's say Rapunzel. It's like, oh, I like your long hair, or whatever, right? And then they're like, they go off, and then they kind of they have their babies and stuff, and then they live happily ever after. But at no point, I don't know. It seems like, Not that if you're playing a game, the love story should be necessarily so like generic and non-detailed, but that just seems so weird to like not just like indicate that the characters have sex, or even like, you know, depict it in some way so that you can see the sort of like intimacy of the characters, like show them as being very loving and etc. To go all the way into like toe licking seems just disgusting. Like
Yeah.
it seems.
If you were making a porn movie, and you
Yeah.
wanted to have customizable sex scenes where you can pick your fetish and then have a sex scene based on that, whatever. But this is not the place.
Even okay, you know what? Here's the difference, I guess. Right? If they go into a sex mini game where you like control yourself, and then that happens to be something that is possible, that is different than them being like, you've chosen to have sex with this character.
Therefore,
then
you
they
must lick their toes.
then they play a toe licking cutscene. That seems like I'm being
It
violated.
seems like they're trying to push a certain fetish on you.
Yeah.
You made
And
it.
there are definitely people out there who want to
just
like
up ahead.
spread their fetish around
My
so that they
sins are
don't
standing
feel
down.
like such a
Oh
freak.
yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. That's like a big thing now.
That's
Is
a big
people
thing.
trying to like.
They're like, trust me, my fetish is the best fetish, and everyone should be into it.
That's a big thing. It's like
Nice.
people trying to. Well, I picked a lock for 8 fusion cells. Who locked that in there? An asshole. They left like all this other bullshit out. They're gonna lock 8 fusion cells on a box. All right. So what gun should I use for the fight? Because it feels a little like. It feels like the lightning gun is like too good.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, man.
It's supposed to be a heavy weapon run, right? So I should use heavy weapons. The heavy napalmer also seems like maybe it's... Well, I guess this guy should burn to death. That feels fitting. This also seems very, very strong. I think all heavy weapons are just strong. I don't know. I don't want to use... I could use a cryo later, I guess. I was thinking this because there'd be robots, but this seems to do an insane amount of damage. I think the rate of fire is just too fast for that number on there. It's like, what's the... I don't have a minigun on me, but I wonder what the... I think the minigun is like 11 damage per shot, and it has the same ammo capacity. I wonder if the Gatling laser... It's probably nowhere near that, actually. This is also quite high, but it only has 6 shots, so it's like kind of like a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Selm says, penis slider. Some people asked for it, and those are the wrong people to listen to. Yeah. I would say so.
I kind of... Oh, he's like right there, okay. Now, you don't have any like options with any companions to talk to them right before the final fight,
Lead on.
but it seems like you
Hey,
should,
come on.
you know?
Say what's on your mind.
There's a new your thoughts.
Your thoughts?
Not very good
Sweetie.
now.
You like my nose, right?
Your thoughts?
This place seems familiar. I think I saw a bit about it on the news back before the war.
Lots of very interesting dialogue that's just like not... I don't ever remember hearing.
And there he is. The most resilient man in the Commonwealth. Funny. I thought I had that honor.
Alright. Shot my wife, took my son. You're a dead man.
Shot my wife. Took my son. You're a dead man.
Your wife.
Fuck 'em.
That was a regrettable accident. Still, this world, this life, you've seen it. Pain, suffering. Death is its only escape.
Wow, you're so
Don't
deep.
worry. Sean's fine. Maybe a little older than you expected, huh? But I can't give him to you. Because he ain't here.
Where is he?
God damn it, you mercenary motherfucker. Where is my son?
What's the cliche? So close, but yet so far away? That's Sean. But don't worry. You'll die knowing he's safe and happy. A bit older than you expected, but
You already said
oh
that.
well. At least he's in a loving home. The Institute.
Dun dun dun.
No matter where he is, I'll find him.
God, you're persistent. I give you credit. It's the way a father should act. The way I'd be acting if I was in your place, I like to think. Even if it is useless. But I think we've been talking long enough. We both know how this has to end. So, you ready?
My favorite is sarcastic, because it's not actually sarcastic, right? Like, he doesn't make a joke, but...
Yeah, go for it.
You know, in 100 years, when I finally die, I only hope I go to hell, so I can kill you all over again, you piece of shit.
Hell yeah. It's pretty badass.
yeah, like I said, it's not really sarcastic.
Yeah. And Salem says, how much you want to bet that if Fallout 4 were written today, your spouse would have to cook up with Kellogg? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that would be the go-to.
Alright, so I have to find him while he's invisible. This is much harder than I thought it was going to be. I'll use the flamethrower to try and find him, I guess. There's probably some way of cheating that, right? But let's have some purified water.
Heads up.
Put him there. I thought it was a sign saying that the jet wore off, but it was just telling me that I have perks I can pick. It's like, read the room. Alright, so we should burn to death. I think that's appropriate.
You're good.
She like that.
My family
Okay.
is dead. I didn't make it in time. Kellogg was working with the Institute, and he gave him Sean.
I was so blinded by anger. I just wanted him dead. Now look what I've done.
It's not your fault. It was him or you. Hold on. Aren't there any pre-war records about the Institute that might help us?
Kellogg kidnapped my son, handed him over to the Institute. I'm going to find them and make them regret what they've done to me.
But why? Why take a child? Nothing's gonna stop me when I'm so close to the answers I'm looking for. Let's go.
Well, we know that he is a little older than we expected, because he
All
said
this
it
tech.
twice, so...
You were barely human.
Big emphasis on that, by the way.
Yeah, big emphasis.
It's like the best kind of revolver you can sort of get, other than standard. This standard receivers should be better, I think. But
Okay.
the fact that it refreshes your points on a critical hit is quite good. Yeah, I think his outfit.
And someone says, playing the game right now, and a big criticism I have is that the perks seem to not match the special attributes of previous games. Why switch things up so much?
Here's a big complaint I have with the perks. How the fuck are you gonna try and convince me that this is about pickpocketing? You see this whole thing going on there with like the lock picking? They made... So, in general, if you're playing this game, you're gonna want to be able to hack as kind of any character, and that's 4 deep into intelligence. If you want to pick locks, it's also 4 deep, which is a pretty significant investment if you just want to...
Right.
Yeah, this is clearly used to be about lock picking and picking pockets, but it's just picking pockets. But there's this whole drawn art of you have to really look to see he's also picking a pocket. It's like the
Yeah,
main.
right. They make it almost seem like it's for both skills, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you make picking locks any easier than it already is, it would be like brain dead. So
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I could see why they removed it, but the art is so. So the question was like whether the perks fit the attributes. Previously, you could pick any perk and it wouldn't be associated with an attribute necessarily. Sometimes it have attribute requirements, but it usually had other requirements like the skills and etc. Some people claiming that this game was not complex because it didn't have skill points. I think they were wrong, but
Salem says, I guess it's because they wanted to emulate Skyrim more?
I think they wanted to simplify the skill system and make it more about perks, I guess. People saying that it was less complex than the previous iterations, specifically because of skill points, I would say are wrong, because what I would do in all the previous iterations was, because there was a level cap, I would just make my intelligence max, because that determines how many skill points you get each level, and then that way I could get max in like melee weapons, for example, in 3 levels. So, and then I would like slowly over leveling up, I would eventually get some like perks that would help with melee weapons or whatever I was doing for that build.
Right.
In this, there's quite a bit more complexity. I would say the strength perks are the weakest. Maybe that's just because I like playing melee weapon builds. But there's a certain like asymmetry in builds with Fallout. So my current build, I am using Jet to slow time and then use cool looking like heavy weapons with the slow-mo and not using VATS at all. So I don't need any points in luck for this build. I only need 1 point in agility because I was thinking I would also use machine guns, but I haven't put a perk into it yet. And then you need 5 points in strength to use heavy weapons. That's fine. I think you should need a strength investment to use a minigun, etc. And then I need... what is this? 7 points? It's kind of a cute icon where it's like your different levels of evolve or whatever. So I need 7 into intelligence. I have charisma just because it's useful for buying the ammo and stuff you'd need to operate heavy weapons. Plus I figured this would give me stores, etc. And then I put put a bunch into this so I could get chem resistant and then eventually be immune to addictions with Jet. And then I wasted a bunch of points into perception so I could use explosives because I was thinking I would get an explosive minigun and then that would be whatever, or the explosive like missile launchers and etc. But if I was just going to use rifles or something, or machine guns, that build would require nothing in here. I mean, theoretically armor mods, but they're not super useful. You wouldn't need anything in perception because this only affects your aiming in VATS. So you get 21 points in the beginning. For a build that is specifically using Jet, just like a drug build for slow-mo, etc. 1, and then you have 13 after this. No, you have 14 because it only costs 6 to get up to 7 because you start at 1. 14. So then after that, you can spend your points however you want. You don't need any luck, don't need any perception, don't need any agility other than one that would take you here. If you used pistols, you wouldn't need to invest any points into that. So you have 14 free points you can spend anywhere. So you can max out charisma, or max out endurance, and then have 7 points into charisma. And then compare that to a VATS heavy build. you wouldn't have any points to spare. You'd need more points. So if you want to max out luck, go all the way to 10 so that you build up critical as much as possible. You would also want your perception to be very high, maxed really, and then you'd want agility to be maxed. But that would require 27 points, and you start with 21. So you're going to have some deficit, and then you don't really have room for charisma or health or upgrading your weapons. So upgrading weapons would need, assuming you use energy weapons, you'd need 6 points into, or you need 5 points into intelligence to do that. So a VATS build is incredibly point hungry in comparison to a jet build or a build that doesn't use VATS at all. Like maybe melee weapons, you wouldn't use VATS. Not because VATS isn't good with melee weapons in this game, because it is. It's just that VATS is incredibly buggy, and even more buggy with melee weapons. So you very often will just end up idling in front of someone and have to quit out of VATS to avoid dying. So, fun facts. Also, no power armor perks, is there? You just start off knowing how to use it. The thing that's odd, by the way, is like if you play as Nora, the game doesn't make a ton of sense. The fact that you're so combat capable, because you're giving a speech at the Veterans Hall, so to be giving a speech, assumedly you have a bunch of medals and you're like an accomplished soldier, but they don't really go into it, and you never get an opportunity to use it in dialogue. So really, they're doing that because they want you to also be able to be Nora, who is not a veteran. She's a lawyer. And that makes sense functionally, but, you know, you're doing so many crazy things, and characters act as though they know you're going to be capable before they ever meet you, before you ever do anything in the main quest. There's characters that will make predictions about how skilled you are. And they're making it completely baselessly because you're a guy who just like unthawed from Frozen. But if they were like, "Oh, I read your army records. You're this like crazy, you know, army guy. That's why you know how to use power armor. That's why you know how to use this." All this stuff would make a lot more sense, but
yeah. Guilds, welcome to the chat. Says
Nice.
I'm on that drug build right now. Feels lit, man.
yeah, isn't that the best? Did you try that because of my recommendation, or are you just enlightened already? The drug build is the just using like tons of jet and whatever. It really is super strong, and it's like so point efficient. You don't need anything for it.
War never changes.
And you don't have to worry about bugs because, like, you know, you're not relying on VATS. Not that you don't have to worry about any bugs, but I've just noticed it's so much more reliable. Oh, I have to read the access logs. My mistake.
So much good information right there.
Sorry, I guess I should have read it out loud or something. I don't know. My favorite build is probably a jet build. Probably a jet build with semi-auto weapons, because, you know, something like a laser rifle, like the standard laser rifle, it's really good in a jet build, and it like sometimes I'll headcanon it as me just having better reflexes rather than actually being a insane meth head, but yeah, I mean,
I've had enough of fighting. Let's have some peace for a change.
Going up.
yeah. There's something kind of cool about like I have another there's another build that I enjoy, which is using a laser musket for your critical hits. Like, you use something else that doesn't you make a gun as light as possible, so it uses up as few action points, and you use that to build up critical meter. And even from really far away, if you attack someone in the head, like, a bunch of times, and you have, what's it called? This one at the end, the, like, concentrated fire. Then you'll get an extra 10% on each extra shot, so you get like 100% accuracy if you just attack 10 times. So, you can snipe someone from, like, max range with any weapon. You don't need any accuracy on any of your guns.
Roof access.
Ironically, the perk at the end of the perception tree makes perception irrelevant. But I guess that's where they would have to put it. Alright, you guys ready? Oh, actually, it's daytime. Is there a way I could skip to... Let's go back upstairs.
Going down.
In the first time I saw this cutscene, it was at night, and I feel like it's so cool when you see the cutscene at night. Maybe I'm just...
Is it more dramatic that way?
Center.
I think it is, but we'll see what chat thinks. We have to
Yeah.
find a chair.
See what I think.
And let's just in case.
He is fast asleep, just like snoring on me.
It's because he's a big borf.
He's a big dwarf.
Alright, so I'll go down to like... Is that 10? I love that it actually shows you putting the fusion core into the armor.
Yes. A lot of the animations in this game are pretty top notch.
Yeah. There's a lot of changes I like in Fallout 4. I think the game is broadly improved upon previous games, even if the mechanics and the world design in previous games was arguably better.
There are some really good ideas put in here, yeah.
Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are both quite nice.
Of course, yes. Fallout 3 is a very good game.
Yeah. This game suffers from the same problem that Fallout New Vegas has. When you start Fallout New Vegas, you're very, very pigeonholed into which direction you can go. And, like, I was in this big discussion with people complaining about how Fallout New Vegas is the best game ever and Fallout 4 is terrible. And they were like, every time I start Fallout 4, I just go the same way. And I was like, well, that's because you go the same way. Because in Fallout New Vegas, you have two options. You have, like... I was saying you have, like, two options. Like, no, you could go up the I-95 or whatever it's called. And it's like, yeah, you could go there, or you could go the route you're supposed to go. There's two routes, basically. You can... I know you can, after you go a certain direction in one, you can go to the Super Mutant Mountain and then take a shortcut if you know about it. I can't even find it. Whenever I replay it and I remember to go there, I'm like, where the hell is it? It's always like the weird spot. In this game, you can go a few directions. You could go to Abernathy Farm, which feels like a very logical place for you to... obviously, you're supposed to go here and then end up in Concord. This is where you're supposed to go. You could go here, and that's like a perfectly fine first place for you to go, because they're like, you're like, what's a Tato, etc. There's a bunch of stuff here. There's like a puzzle you can solve to get a bunch of caps, and then I think this is there's a thing here which is there's like a sentry bot fight that will kill you. It's totally optional, and then this is a thing. I think that's a bad place to go first. And there's like the Gorski cabin is a terrible place to go. It's just like a ton of waste of ammo for no benefit. Then there's Grumbling Diner, but I think you generally tend to just do this stuff, I would say. But it's the same problem Fallout New Vegas has, slightly better than New Vegas, but it's still bad, is that they start you in the corner. Fallout 3, they start you in the middle. You can go any direction. So
Right.
this kind of, in a way, it's like, oh, well, you can go anywhere in the map. But it's like, yes, but a lot of playtime is people in the big... Well, maybe that's not true. I don't know. But it's just... You tend to start the game, and then you tend to sort of do something sort of repetitive, even though you're playing a new build and you're like, want to try something new out. So...
Yeah, that's fair. It also just doesn't feel good when you start an open world game and you can already touch the edge of the map.
That's true. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Ah, there it is. Shit, I was like, where is it?
People of the Commonwealth,
Ooh, this is cool, isn't it?
do not interfere. Our intentions are peaceful. We are the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
This is pumping me up.
America! Fuck yeah!
Coming around just in a fucking day.
Get Jones Brothers Steel.
This is just a fancy way of saying you're looting everything you can get your hands on.
I do enjoy...
Brotherhood isn't exactly subtle when it makes an entrance, huh?
Shadows. Yeah, I think it... There should have been... There should have been some dialogue for him being an ex-military guy, because that's a very cool origin story. To be like, I was in the U.S. military, frozen, and now I'm in the apocalypse fighting. It's a cool idea, and they don't capitalize on it really at all.
Noticing things. Hey!
Also, the difficulty is modded to be harder. It's the difficulty of like old survival. Survival used to be like a difficulty setting, and then they changed it to also mean that you would have to be hydrated and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was gonna try a run where you also can't save and stuff like that. Like,
Oh.
you have to save when you sleep, and I'm just like, no, dude.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
This sucks. I would play with the hydration stuff. I tried to do a run of Fallout New Vegas with the hydration stuff, and I drank a Nuka-Cola, and it didn't improve my hydration. I'm like, all right, I'm done. It's like,
I remember that.
it's like, I understand.
It has to be water every
Yeah,
time.
it's like, I understand that it's not the best thing to hydrate yourself with, but you won't literally die of dehydration from drinking a soda. It's not like drinking salt water in the ocean, which, by the way, kind of hydrates you for
before you die, yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like if you're really at that point of like losing consciousness, I think salt water does.
I don't know. People still argue that you should drink your pee, and that dehydrates you as well. So
Yeah.
Not to mention it has a lot of other chemicals in it that could get you sick.
You can also get water out of your pee that you can drink. Yeah, I think. No, definitely urine would be safer than drinking salt water. It's a very bad idea to drink salt water. Don't do it. But it will hydrate you for like an hour or something. Like, yeah, it's not great. But if you're right at the point of your body shutting down because you don't have any water, yeah, drinking salt water it'll keep you alive for like a little bit. I don't know. There
is a way to separate the pure water from like the salt water.
Boiling it, yeah.
Yeah, you boil it and then collect the steam, and you can drink the water that comes off of there.
You just need an alembic. It's easy. Who doesn't carry one of those when they go on a cruise?
But you can makeshift something, but
yeah,
you know, it takes work. Oh, you kick it in your sleep.
So. Alright, what's this radio station?
Repeating. This is Paladin Dance on frequency 9-5. All Brotherhood of Steel units are to return to the Cambridge Police Station immediately for reassignment.
Yes, sir. Okay, so sort out some inventory things. He's so ridiculous. He's like kicking and snorting in his sleep, and just like his head is on your lap, just like.
He's having such an exciting dream.
This dog is such a lazy dog that he doesn't run around outside. He's so excited to go to sleep, and then he just like dreams about running around. If you gave this guy some like VR headset, dog would be in the Matrix immediately, no questions asked. He'd never miss sunlight.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Literally
Sure.
just
Anything you
born
need.
to be
Let's
a
see what you
housewife.
got.
Doesn't want anything else in life. Just wants to be in the nice air conditioning.
Yeah, I love bringing up PETA's take on dogs, where they're like all dogs are slaves. It's like, you want to be freed? This is like, no. Air conditioning isn't outside, it's inside.
Heads up.
No pets outside either. You can't get pet.
Yeah. That would not suit him. Maybe I can chrome the rest of the armor. Or I could put back on the patriotic. Yeah, I'll just show up to the Brotherhood. I'll show up to duty, the Brotherhood of Steel. Was this not running while I was gone? That's ridiculous. I guess you have to hang out in your base and do stuff. I'm gonna change around my paint job to be more American.
Hell yeah, man.
I can also switch out the helmet. What do you think? That's a T-51 helmet. And then the helmet that I have is that, which I think looks vastly superior. I don't know. This is the helmet from the old Fallout games, though.
Oh, I think they both look good, but if you like the one that you have, then just keep that.
I think every aspect of the T-45 looks better than the T-51. And then the T-45 looks just like the T-60, so I'm pretty sure they invented the T-45 to have a shitty version of the T-60, so they could still have soldiers look cool in posters.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put the patriotic on. What do you think? Do the whole thing patriotic or try to chrome everything?
I guess whatever you like. You could also try a mixture, I suppose. I don't know how well that will look, but...
I know when you chrome it, the whole suit doesn't actually get chromed. Let's see, how much does it take? I don't know, energy resistance. It's a lot of energy resistance too, so maybe that's good. Oh, it costs nuclear material. Yeah, let's just, even though it's useless, I'll just rock the, I don't know. I'll have the America chest, I guess. Yeah, even though it doesn't do anything, I'll just be patriotic anyway. Got the regular explosive shielding arm, explosive shielding head. Gotta repair it, right? So I've kept everything low quality. I don't know if it's... I kept it like Model B, because Model B is still steel. I don't know if putting it to Model F would cause me to have to repair it with something besides steel. I know the chest plate, the chest piece, I think it requires circuitry. I think no matter what, so I might as well put it on B. Oh, did I sell the B version? That's very stupid. I don't know, maybe... I don't know what makes it cost more or less. I also don't really need more damage reduction. Which I don't actually... I'm not, like, I'm not dying that much, so it's not super vital. It's just steel, so why not? Okay. I want to look my best when I meet the Brotherhood of Steel. So I made a little building to like house everybody. I'm like kind of trepidatious to go to the museum and like tell everyone to move into Sanctuary because once there's people in a settlement, the settlement can get attacked. And like stuff just ends up being broken, you know? And I don't want stuff to be broken. You know?
That's fair. I also don't like it when things are broken.
Because it's like, then you gotta kind of investigate what got broke. Now, what do we got? 245mm round.
Can you just like hire NPCs as employees to man the machines for you and collect things?
Kind of. No.
That would be useful, I suppose.
How much? Level 25. In order to upgrade to level 3 mods. I wonder what the complicated math they did to figure out what levels
Look as
each
good as the day we met.
perk should require. Oh, I have to... I'll put Kellogg's pistol away, because I don't really... Nah, maybe I'll have fun with it. Okay, I got a bunch of random stuff I should sell. So I guess I'll do that. Minigun. Yeah, let's do it. In fact, I could add a shredder muzzle to it. Let's do it. Let's be super metal.
Ugh.
It just flops down right in place. Maybe I should, like... The improved rate of fire, I do not need that. Oh man, this just makes it even, like, more damage. Slower rate of fire, but I don't know by how much, right? Not enough to justify that jump in damage, my god. It's like 203 rate of fire, and then 227, and the damage is, like, tripled. Almost quadrupled. Alright. Whoever made this mod, it does not have a great perspective on game balance. This is like a paid mod. The heavy incinerator. I think I got it from like some holiday or something when it was free, but that is like supposed to be a paid quality, but I don't know if that... Yeah, so what does it take to be able to bash people with a weapon, effectively? There's a perk for it, but it's like, man, hip fire accuracy improved when firing any gun is 7 points of strength. It seems like that should be really like, I don't know. I think like it makes sense for, I don't know. Like, are we really expected to put 3 points into strength to modify armor? It seems weird. And then, like, they do let you min-max into melee, don't they? Because you don't need any intelligence to use melee weapons. Because you could modify them with just strength. But so they have all the basic skills for all weapons at just 2 points in at most. But it kind of seems like steady aim should be higher up.
What, am I being too loud?
It's just, it's fine. It's just like, it's such a noise. It's such a particularly like, horrific.
ASMR with freeze pops.
Sounds like a snake is like eating a cicada's chrysalis, just like crunching down on.
So, what's the next mission? Or you still have to clear things up with the Brotherhood? Is that the thing?
I guess so. The other option is I could do the quest that unlocks the heavy weapon that fires a cannon. It's like a portable cannon you carry around. It's terrible, but it is cool. So
You're tempted to have it just because it's cool.
I think I must have it because it's cool. Not that I want it. I am destined to have it. Like Sam Hyde is destined to one
It is my destiny.
One day Fox. Whatever the fuck the Young
I'm
Turks guys are.
genetically
Nephew's
programmed
called.
to hate you. I love that was his response.
So I just identify him as my genetic enemy.
Mortal enemies, yeah. If you do want the cannon, then let's go do that.
Yeah. I guess. What do we have in everything? Cryolator, Tesla cannon. I guess I'll put the the cryolator should be on some weird number you never have to press for anything. 'Cause it's like, when do you pull out a cryolator? Sorry, I'm like not. Oh, it's because it's not on screen. Okay.
Salem
Put it on
asks,
7.
think Chen would survive the Fallout wastes?
No, I don't think so. I think he's a bit too chubs.
That's some serious protection.
I haven't heard many of their takes on a lot of things. I've seen like clips of them talking about stuff in like other like super leftist like media. They're like,
You're right.
they're like justifying their own opinions by showing a clip of like them saying stuff. And I know about the whole origin of the group, the Young Turks, which is quite bizarre. Okay, so
I've had them described to me as like the left-wing Alex Jones show.
Yeah. There's that clip of like the Armenian woman who's like somehow like I don't know if you're aware, but like the youth organization that pushed a lot of momentum behind the Armenian genocide was called the Young Turks. And that's why that news organization is called the Young Turks. So it's funded by a Turkish like millionaire who hates Armenians. And then he hired this Armenian woman to be his like toy, like a
Token.
yeah, like a trophy or whatever.
Okay.
That he has as like a spokesperson on the Young
Let's see what you
Turks.
got.
Right.
That's at least the perspective that I've heard from like what was it, like Sargon of Akkad was like that was his like point of that. But it's like I don't know, either it's just like you name your organization after like a genocidal like
Hey, Georgie.
group, and then you're like, then you hire the people that they genocided. It doesn't really feel like, oh, it's a healing or something. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, I realize that we shouldn't have genocidated. It seems like weird and like a weird power
it's like
thing.
this idea that like Jews can also be Nazis.
Yeah, I mean that did happen, but it's not the most.
Just like being a part of something that's against you.
Right.
Although I guess it's not too surprising, considering modern day how many white people act very anti-white.
Yeah, there's so much anti-white people. It's honestly like it can be at times very disheartening when there's like a huge amount of people that are like white people, and then on the like the other side of the aisle, it's people that want to say like I said that I was like there was some post where someone was saying that like hyphenated country identities are like evil because there's such a thing as African American, and I was like, well, I'm an Italian American and I don't like have a giant stick up my ass about it. I'm happy about it. It's cool. I like it. And then someone replied was like, no, you're not. Unless you came from Italy, you're not an Italian American. You're just American.
It's like you can still be genetically.
And they were like plain old American, I think is how they phrased it. And it's like, I know in some weird like they were like conservative. They had like a profile picture with a fucking cowboy hat or whatever. But it's like in some like weird like I don't see color. I just see American. I just see red, white, and blue. It's the only color I can see. I'm colorblind. I guess in some weird like thing like that, they're like, I'm so like whatever the opposite of progressive is. They're like, I'm so noble for this view, but it's like
I think that's more of a like middle ground view where it's like I don't want to acknowledge any ethnicities of people because that's true equal thinking.
Yeah, I fucking hate that though. It's like I'm American and that's awesome. It's a good thing. I'm also Italian. That's awesome and it's a good thing. I'm also German and that's awesome and a good thing. And I don't find any great conflict in my soul about like having multiple identities.
Fair.
But it's like you have people on one side that are like, I don't know, they seem very like tone deaf to the whole thing. And then on the other side, it's just rampant hate for white people, even amongst white people. And it's like, it can at times feel a little bit,
Right. Well, I've seen, like, the 3 different views on that, where it's like, some people, like on the far left, are like, you can be proud of your heritage so long as you're not white, because if you're white, then all your heritage is racist.
yeah.
And
Like,
then there's, like, people in the middle ground who are like, we should just not acknowledge any heritage, because we're all the same, all equal. And then there's, like, people on the right who's just like, fuck you, white heritage is the best.
yeah.
You know?
And it's like, I've dealt with so much, like, bigoted shit about being white. It's just like, you know, people say so much nasty shit. I kind of rather hear the opposite sometimes. That sounds much nicer. Fucking people telling me that, like, white people can't do this or that or whatever. And then it's like, I can swim really good. And they're like, whoa, man. It's like, again.
Whoa, man. Chill, dude. Salem says the self-hating
Nice piece you
comes
got
off
there. Just keep it
more like a
holstered.
desperate cry for acceptance. Very true.
Yeah, I just... Who... It's like, I get it. Like, people are trying to, like, very action figure-y with the back being so bright. Just, like, so goofy. I get it where it's like, oh, well, they want to be, like, at the top of this social hierarchy, you know, logical or something. But it's, like, not at the same time. Like, who is so... It strikes me as so annoyingly weak. You know what I mean? Like...
Aura Honeydew, welcome to the chat. Says, I'm more in the it's not about the heritage, like I will to craft my own legacy, and calling on a tab I didn't rack up just seems wrong.
I don't know. I mean, like, I think it's a useful source of, like, pride and, like, motivation to sort of live up to those
Expectations of your ancestors.
expectations. Yeah. Like, there's this,
Lead on.
I kind of like the pagan... These are weightless? I kind of like the pagan, like, ancestor worship kind of idea. It seems very... Oh. It seems nice, I would say. The concept. And, like, Japanese culture where they have that little shrine to their ancestors in their house. That seems nice. I think it's, like... You know, because essentially, every one of your ancestors is this, like, long-lost love story of... You know, people... Oh, I can't put that in there, can I? People fall in love. They hope the absolute best for their offspring. They give them every possible advantage they can so they'll succeed. And then they do. And they have kids. They fall in love. They have their own love story of their own. They have kids. And they do all they can to make those kids happy and successful just like their parents did for them. And then those kids, guess what? They also have their own love story, fall in love, have kids, and do all they can to make those kids successful. And then they do it for like 1,000 times, and I'm here. And it's like, shouldn't I be like proud that
At
like
the very least, grateful.
just a millennium long, several millennium long chain of love has brought me here, and I can't be like,
Right.
hey, it's cool that they all also ate spaghetti. and I like spaghetti. I have this in common with my ancestors. They liked spaghetti, and I'm here because of them.
Most people agree that you should love your family and be very close with your family, but like, how far back does that go? Can I be proud and love all of my family, even those that I never met, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
my entire ancestry?
I think so.
I think
I also, it's like, you know, I see an oak tree as a kid, you know, and I think they're so pretty, the leaves and stuff, and I spend a long time just staring up at the trees and listening to the sound of the wind going through the leaves. And then later in life, I learned that, like, oak trees are, like, a big staple symbol of Germany. And I'm like, oh, wow, I have that little connection where maybe some little boy far in my ancestry also, like, stared up at the trees and thought they sounded nice and stuff. You know, and then, like, I do enjoy my RPG builds and my, like, min-maxing, etc. And then I find out that in most German fairy tales, there's this staple of, of specializing. So it's, like, sort of... So, like, there's lots of these fairy tale characters that are, like, they're known by their obsession with getting good at a particular thing. And, you know, there's, like, Strong Hans or whatever, who's, like, you know, he's so strong, he can, you know, like, the story ends with him, he can't do other things because he's not good at those things, but he has the fact that he's strong, and so he uses that to apply to various different things. There was some other story, it ends with, like, Death is like, oh, you may be strong, but you're not stronger than Death, and he's like, yes, I am, and he punches him in the face, or kicks him in the face, or something, and then it's like, ah, ha, ha. Like,
I got him.
And, the moral of the story, like, people really focus on, like, the death and stuff in German fairy tales, where it's like, yeah, really bad stuff happens to them, and whatever, but that's not all German fairy tales. It's, like, particular in, like, the Grimm's, brothers collections, they have, like,
wrote fairy tales. That's another thing that people overlook,
Yeah.
is that not all the fairy tales they wrote in the book were original. They
Yeah,
were
there's-
rewriting other fairy tales.
Yeah, and there's, like, the little match girl and stuff where it's, like, super dark, but, like, what I noticed way more than, like, dark elements was specialization, and how, like, you know, there was one story where it was a girl who's very smart, and, like, she's so smart that she can... Her sister gets married off to a bad man, and then he cuts her up and puts her body in the attic. And then she finds her sister, because she's so smart, so she finds her. And then she puts her sister back together, and then her sister, like, comes back to life, because she put her back together perfectly. And it's like, you know, modern times, every single story is always like, oh, you can't bring people back to life, or whatever. But this story is like, well, if you're smart, you can do whatever the fuck you want, so... You know, focus on being smart. And then she's so smart that she figures out a way. And, like, the way the story is kind of geared, right? The way that the narration is explaining stuff is because she has this particular skill of being... I don't know if it's clever or smart. They have a particular term they use or whatever, but it's because she's so clever or so smart or whatever. She can do whatever because she has this one skill that she focuses on and makes very good.
It's all about specialization.
And, like, sometimes people sort of focus on the more negative aspect of that, which is, like, the whole stay in your lane thing, where it's like, don't try to be good at stuff you don't know about or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. There's like negative aspects to it, but I don't know. Like, I was reading these fairy tales and noticing this. Oh man, loot. I'm like in the middle of a gunfight, but I need the things. And then I was like,
What did you find?
You know, it was kind of cool because I've always sort of had this fixation on specialization, and then I felt a little like connection there. Not that you need to look at like everything through that lens of like,
Okay.
you know, I like potatoes. Something.
Only eat potatoes for all my life.
No, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like, oh man, that movie was good. I bet my ancestors saw a play like just like it. Like, you know, you don't have to like look at everything like that, but it's just kind of like pleasant. I find.
Yeah. Salem also says, sorry to change topics, but how are your local comic and nerd shops? I'm in a rural area, and yet the comic store here is ultra political to the left, and they make it clear they don't want me there. Sorry to hear that.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, the comic book shop near us recently, I guess, somewhat recently anyway, changed owners, and they seem to have taken out a bunch of the political books, but it might just be, you know, books that weren't selling in general, which happen to be the political books. I don't think that they're right-leaning, or at least the people we met there, I don't think that they're right-leaning, but it seems fairly moderate and friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to gauge.
Protect and serve.
There was, one guy. Yeah, there was one guy who was like anti-vax that was like fired, but he was fired for other reasons. And the guy just hated that guy, but he didn't really comment on, like, the employee didn't really comment on the fact that he was anti-vax. He was just kind of like, whatever. But oh, this is such a cool little thing. So this subway train,
It goes up to the next floor.
it goes, yeah. So you can, like, if you have a jetpack or jet,
Nice.
you can, like, sort of navigate the rooftops. If you see a sailboat on the compass, that's what I'm looking for. I think it's like in this area, but I don't really know. Yeah, that's a bummer. It's like, I don't know. It's probably a weird position for comic shops to be in, because they used to be cool, and now they're like, you know, they're like D&D and Magic the Gathering suddenly turned into very, very strange IPs.
Definitely can agree with you there. Or Honeydew says, hey Dan fan, have you ever considered doing reviews of the first? Like, first Batman, the first Superman, the first X-Men? Kind of curious how fair on woke binge. I don't know. A lot of people, I guess, have their own opinion on what they consider the first of anything. Because some people, the super old versions of certain superheroes are more like the concept chapter 0 versions sometimes. But I don't really know how interested people would really be in that.
I think you could make like, if you made the video itself interesting, you could make a review on not their first appearance, but like their first arm poses or whatever. The very first picture of like Batman that appears, and how well they handled his posing on his arm or something.
Be way more interesting.
And then you have like a tier list where you put all the arms on the tier list. Or like the expressions or something. It's like, he has a goofy expression. 0 out of 10.
Bad.
He goes in the F tier.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Oh. Bad. It's quite low. It's hard to notice because it's like a dial instead of a, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to cook all my food. You know what? I'm eating all the raw meat. We're done with this. Stop being in my inventory. I hate you. You're irradiated. Squirrel on a stick. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. plastic.
Come on
bag.
now, rookie!
Let's pull out the Gatling gun.
Alrighty. Our honeydew says, nay, nay, comic book stores were cool until they got cool. Then they kinda went to normie. Even the D&D they play is very alternative, like when you have to state the character's pronouns, run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Dude.
normie culture is especially bad when the culture itself is bad.
Man. This gun is so much worse than like the lightning gun. This feels much more balanced.
It looks good.
That's enhanced. Chinese officer sword. Just what I wanted for Christmas. It's just such a random fucking thing they got. Yeah. No, I ran before COVID. I ran D&D games for different places, and I was running one, and one of the kids playing. I was like in middle school, and he wanted to play an archer, I think. Oh, what did he want to do? He wanted to play some kind of dexterity based fighter, and so I was like, I don't know. I mean, there's like elves and elven accuracy. You want to do elven accuracy or something like that? And he's like, I don't know. And he was like, but are there like cool versions of elves? And I was like, I guess there's like drow, right? So I like open up, Xanathar's Guide, and I flip to the drow and show him. And then he starts reading through the description, and then he gets super upset, right? He gets extremely upset. He hands the book back, and he's like, no, I don't want to play them. And I was like, whoa, okay, well, there's other ones. And he was like, no, I don't want to, just take it, right? He didn't even want to hold the book, right? And I was like confused. I was like, okay, whatever.
Just repelled by it.
I was like, whatever. People have all different like weird stuff, but he was like upset, right? And I didn't understand why. And then I was like just chilling, eating something, watching whatever random video, and it was like on the D&D YouTube channel, and it was like the CEO explaining like game design of like random stuff, and he was like, yeah, so it was a video on like the drow, and the whole video, the only thing they talk about is one detail about the drow, and that's that in a long rest, as far as in Xanathar's Guide, introduced in Xanathar's Guide, they gave the Dark Elves a trait that on a long rest they can change their gender.
Just what I wanted for Christmas.
Just what I wanted for Christmas.
There you go.
And
Boop,
I had
penis. Woo!
And I had no fucking idea that that's what I was in the book that I was handing that kid. And I just had this like this feeling of like, oh god, like I didn't know that. I honestly, I guess my head was in like the sand. I didn't know that like D&D had gotten like woke, and I was just like, oh fuck, like I should have like.
So weird, yeah.
I'm the weird fucking pedophile teacher, like handing the kid the grooming stuff, and I was like, oh god.
That's not that bad. All you did was hand them the book. You didn't.
No, I know, but it's just like
talk to them about it and try to convince them. Yes, this is the way.
It's got to be so like hard for kids, because like he wouldn't even say what was the matter, because he didn't know if I was like a fucking freak. It was just like, I don't know. It's got to be like kind of tough. I hate to be like contributing to that too.
Right. Salem says the comic book store I'm near sells tons of straight up political stuff. Like, I don't want to buy political stickers at a comic store. I want manga and Ghost Rider, damn it. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Can relate.
What kind of political stickers are they selling at your comic shop? Sounds like a nightmare.
I can only assume pride and trans flags and...
I was when you said when you said political stickers, I thought it was gonna be like some specific cause.
Biden 2020 or something. I don't know.
No, I thought it was gonna be something more interesting. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just.
What do you
I was
thinking?
watching a bunch of like Daily Wire stuff, so I was thinking like maybe like anti-Satanism or something. But that's the other side of the aisle. I was thinking something uber specific and no one cares about it, so it's kind of novel. But
Just stop oil.
yeah, or stop oil. I've never been more of a supporter of oil
Than seeing those protests.
since seeing someone dump a can of soup on a fucking painting. I've never been a bigger supporter of big oil.
They're the fucking worst people of the planet.
But by the way, apparently those paintings weren't damaged because they had glass over.
Good.
They should still,
Arrest them. Yeah.
Yeah, they should still. Oh, I was gonna say kill them, but because there's serious crimes and there's just incredibly annoying crimes, and when you're just too fucking annoying,
When you're too fucking annoying, you should get the death penalty.
Let's just be honest. It would be really funny if someone just put them into a catapult and fired them into a wall.
Yeah, say what you want about how strict Japan's culture is, but at least they're polite. Even their homeless are more polite.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking where the fuck this place is. Oh, it's right by Bunker Hill. Where's Bunker Hill? Well, look at the map. It's like... Oh, so it's here? Okay, let's go here then. I want to get the cannon, everybody.
Alright, cannon time.
Yeah.
Nice old school gun right there.
Yeah. The loading screens are quite entertaining.
Yeah.
Apparently Capcom, I think it's Capcom, has the patent on... Oh, fuck. Get out of there. Who did that? Who put that incredibly, let's stop an army? Who even does that? There's no one even here to rob me afterwards. They just... Some guy left that there and then died of dysentery. This is literally
The insects
me
are the worst.
Literally me right now in the summer. Just where's my follower?
Oh, the Salem clarified. Pride stuff, anti-Republican and capitalism stuff, feminist stuff, and more. There were things that gave me Artifa, I assume, Antifa,
Yes.
vibes, but I couldn't be sure.
Sure thing.
Well, if they were selling the Antifa flag sticker, I would be quite a part.
I mean, all of that stuff is already... Ugh. So how many hours do you have to drive to get to a different comic shop?
Yeah.
Said you live in a rural area,
I think you might need to start thinking about online shopping.
You're gunners. Hey buddy.
Hold it. We're under orders to charge anyone coming through this area a fee. Cost is 1,000 caps.
That's funny.
What if I don't pay?
Bang. You're dead.
Do you not see him in giant power armor?
With a shredder, Gatling gun.
How about knocking some caps off the price?
Listen, I'm not even supposed to be talking to you. I either collect the money
What was that?
or shoot you dead.
Alright.
Which will it be?
You just kill these guys going out of it.
Does Brotherhood of Steel just drop from a... Hey,
Hello.
what if I just walk across the bridge? Oh. Your mustache, man.
mind if I shoot it?
Okay. Let's do this.
Salem says 2 hours is the next comic book shop nearby,
So
and that one is woke too. I miss being able to go enjoy myself at a non-political bookstore. Yeah.
God. So there's.
Don't make me pull
What?
the trigger.
If I may ask, what state should I never move to? God. There's like a fucking like.
There's no like manga shops that are specific manga shops near you, because those are also a thing that tend to be less woke. You know, a little asterisk next to that. Sometimes they can
So
also be.
we went to one, and they like sprinkle in across the store like all sorts of shit. There was one book that was like. It was about like black people or something, and then the publishing group had like their sticker on it or whatever, and it was like a group that exclusively hires black people and only talks about black people stories, like telling stories of black people exclusively and only hiring black people and like only selling to black people and their allies or whatever. It was like, wow.
Only selling to.
They didn't say selling on the thing because they want to be a little bit communist, so they're like providing.
Ah.
And I was like, yeah.
Salem says, I'm in the UP of Michigan, one of the reddest areas of this country. I love it here, but the most opinionated folks owns the entertainment shops. That's interesting.
You there, caravan or raider?
You would think that it would be a little bit more red in the
I'm
shops
here on
too
my
to
own.
provide for their
Freelance,
customers better.
All right, come.
Yeah, I mean, how does that even function? Like, I guess there's other people like you that are
I
like.
guess people are just like desperate.
I guess there's like other people
Well,
like.
if we ever want to open up a Republican comic book shop, we know where there's the demand for it.
Michigan has BasedCon, doesn't it? There's a convention called BasedCon, which is like.
Is that in Michigan?
Yeah, it's like I think that is Michigan. It's
Let me see. Well, it doesn't come up when I search it. Classic.
Depends on what you're searching it with.
This is our claim. Clear out, Civvy.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It would be better for all of us if you just
There it
leave.
is.
Once we get on that ship, we're set for life.
Are you sure about that? I kind of I'm curious what their side of the story is.
Yeah, BaseCon is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. There you have it.
Oh no! Oh no!
What happened? I was reading about BaseCon.
How far back is this? It's kind of ridiculous. One instance of damage and they're like, I hate you forever. No, I landed in the power armor, so that does damage to people around you, because the people, I don't know, Iron Man or something.
Caravan or raider?
I'm here on my own.
Freelance.
Yeah, okay. Going this way. A very new looking car. Whoops.
Our Honeydew says, I'd frequent that DNC comic shop though. Would probably bug having you guys sign comics you didn't even make.
Scanning. Accessing pre-war records. Record found. 108th Infantry Regiment, 2nd Battalion.
Oh, there we go.
'Tis Providence, a member of the Congressional Army, is delivered to us in our hour of need.
Depending on what you need, I may be able to help.
The fair wind
So they
holds
recognize that
true
you're a soldier.
then. The captain requests your presence on the beach. At the Double Creek, sir.
Or maybe they say the same thing.
Last voyage of the USS Constitution.
I'll take more money. I'll take the cash. Just like rocks in the bottom of the boat.
Yes.
DNC comic.
Joseph Choi, welcome to the chat.
Hey.
Says, hello, my signal is terrible, but I'm trying to stick around. Salem says, that's it, we need Liberty Prime in real life.
Yeah, take care of your comic shop, my god. How do I get in?
Or Honeydew says, ever explain Blue Beetle's gimmick to someone, and they noticed they would have been better off just making a Ben 10 movie? I'd be down for some Ben 10 shit. Although I've only ever seen the original series. I didn't see any of the spin-offs. I didn't see the Chibi reboot. And I know that there was a live-action movie, but I didn't see that either. I remember being interested in watching the live-action movie, but it probably was bad, right? Because all of the live-action movies back then were just pretty bad whenever
This place smells horrible.
did it from a cartoon. Or at least Avatar was like notoriously
We're
bad.
taking on an allied soldier.
Defending
Clear
the
the berth.
Constitution.
Disable defenses. Make way.
I'll loot the boat later. Except for this. Okay.
Midshipmen, stand down. Stand down, I say.
Is well.
This soldier is a guest on our vessel.
Of course.
Please.
Oh, it's a live-action trilogy? Well, I guess it must have done better than Avatar then.
What? They're making a Blue Beetle trilogy?
Oh no, I was talking about the Ben 10 live-action movies that I never saw.
Mr. First Mate, this is
They
the
made
captain. This
live-action
soldier is
Ben
no
10?
intruder.
You don't remember that?
Requesting permission.
I believe they were
to
Cartoon
use
Network original
lethal
movies, so I don't
force.
think they had theater releases or anything.
This must be a misunderstanding. You invited me aboard.
No records found.
Stand down. That's an order. And for God's sake, use the accent.
I, Captain, standing down. Permission to.
Okay. I forget what the whole deal with this quest was. Such a goofy, it's a goofy concept. I like this quest, though. This is a fun quest.
Yeah, and you get a cannon, so...
It's terrible, but...
but it sounds fun, at least.
It is. It is very fun.
Ooh.
I'm so relieved to have finally sent all the helmets.
Yeah, and imagine how much more relieved you'll feel once we send all the
There
books.
are no words.
Yeah. But it's just like I had to,
Sounds
like the
dangerous.
books is just like I just wait and then they show up, right? And
Right,
it's stressful that they're not here, but it's just like kind of they just come. The books just show up and I have them and then I use them. but the printer is like, I have to fix the printer. And it's like, I have some like hellish jury-rigged like wire management going on, like twisty ties to make this printer run. I'm so glad I got it to work.
Oh, our honeydew followed up with,
Hey,
made
Captain.
for TV,
I'll have
2
none of your
classic
lip,
Ben
Mr.
10
Navigator.
movies, and 1
Have the
Alien
crow's
Force,
nest
plus
scan 2
2
points off the
animated
port
movies,
bow.
1 in
Jump to it.
3D CGI.
Our soldier
Dear
has
God, I
arrived.
would not want to
I
CGI
trust the
Ben
first
10
mate didn't
movie.
give you too hard a time.
I'd watch the
Been
other
too
ones, I
long
wouldn't
since
watch
you've seen the
the
Congressional
CGI
Army.
one. It's just, I don't like that art style.
What if they did like Advent Children quality? The Final Fantasy Advent Children?
Nah.
Not even that? What?
Nah.
I would watch everything in that quality.
I mean,
It's so
Ben
good.
10 though.
Oh yeah, Ben. Well, I wouldn't watch Ben 10.
Soldier.
Period.
Ben 10's fine. I remember the
Yeah, I
first
know.
series being good. A good concept.
Mate, Congressional Army? Why are you talking like that?
This is the pride of our Navy, the USS Constitution. As her commander, it is my privilege to enforce a certain measure of decorum amongst my crew.
He seems nice.
Are you crazy? Do you even know what year it is?
Do not mistake my genteel manner for derangement, sir. I am fully aware that it is the year of our Lord, 2287.
Why are you even here on this ship? It's ancient.
This vessel has more than once been the seat of our great nation's naval power. Is it not fitting she don this mantle again?
Okay.
Your lookout told me to come up here. Why?
I confess, we need your assistance.
All
You
right.
visit this fine vessel in trying times. It calmed these long years on her airy perch. Damn you, Weatherby Savings and Loan! I spit at you.
That's quite a predicament.
Why are you even here? On this ship, it's ancient.
What
already
vexes me
said that.
most is my
I know
inability to
they're trying
assist
to
in
just
the
like
war
make it
effort.
seem like she's contributing to conversations, but it just sounds like she's just a little like
She's a little out there.
yeah, she's just a little spacey, like you have
Constitution
this
has systems that
ditzy,
need repairs to
Ditzy
carry
wife,
out its
yeah.
mission.
or autistic. Sure.
Just tell me what you need.
Good man. Consult with the
Good
bosun
man.
and Mr. Navigator. They will relay your instructions. Dismissed. Look lively.
Guess I'm going to the bosun.
Scavengers approach.
Alright.
Soldier, man the cannons.
Oh.
Kill them only as a last resort. A few warning shots usually
Just before I asks, thoughts on the new One Piece trailer? I kind of have the same thoughts as before, where it's like, I don't have any faith in Netflix to really make a good One Piece live action adaptation. I don't really have faith in anyone to make a good One Piece live action adaptation. But it seems fun, it seems about right, it feels like a fan-made movie. And if you go into it with that type of mindset, it might be an okay watch.
So the heavy incinerator was like a mortar in Fallout 3, and so I kind of like being able to use it in that sort of application. Let's see where the legendary scavenger is. Oh, is that it? Okay. I could fire the cannons, can't I? Yeah, broadside.
I would like to get the crossover with Generation X, Rex, and then the barely crossover with redesigned, manifested VA's Secret Sunday. My goodness, they had a lot of Ben 10 content. I guess it was kind of like the Cartoon Network's Avatar, in a way. Yeah, Ben 10 was good. I think the worst part about Ben 10 really is just the creeps who shipped. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Who shipped the main character with his cousin. Like they were made for each other. It's like, what the fuck?
You remember the what's that guy called? The Seth Zinch or whatever.
Yes. That guy.
Oh my god, I hate this shit. must have friendly fired with the mortar thing.
Huh. There are no words. What exactly is this place?
Captain Ironsides.
I'll have none of your lip, Mr. Navigator. Have the crow's nest scan 2 points off the port bow. Jump to it.
Aye.
So I guess they're like.
Hey, Captain.
I'll have none of your lip, Mr. Navigator. Have the
That's old
crow's
school.
nest
Now
scan
the
2
creep
points
ship
off the
Gwen
port
with
bow.
Raven.
Jump to it.
Aye, Captain.
Our
Who's
soldier has
Raven?
arrived.
I don't know.
I trust the first mate didn't give you too
What
hard
about
a
Kevin
time.
11 and Ben 10?
Been too
huh?
long since
Oh,
we've seen
yeah,
the
yeah.
That's the
congressional
real ship,
army.
huh? What if I went to Comic-Con? There was this, like...
Oh, do you mean Raven from Teen Titans? Is that a thing?
First mate?
This is the...
Why are you even here on this
This
ship?
vessel
And you're in charge here?
has all... After...
And you're in charge
Yeah,
here?
Raven from
Has all...
Teen Titans.
After all...
That's pretty funny.
Are
Do
you
not miss...
are you crazy?
It's
Do you
still
even know what
less
you don't miss-
egregious than
I can
with Ben,
visit this...
honestly.
Sad.
Oh, which makes enough...
Uh-huh. Just tell me what you need.
Good man. Consult with the boat. Look lively, lad. Scavengers approach. Soldier, man the cannons. Kill them only as a last resort. A few warning shots fast to scare that rabble off.
Okay, so... There's... Oh, wait, can I use this?
The cannons are ready. Fire at will. Broadside them, soldier. Our opponents have struck their crown.
Notice
Traitor, you
anything
hide in
suspicious.
vain. Do not think that diminishes matters.
Let's deal with this shit.
Get some, motherfucker! You killed him!
Ooh, that's very good if I was running that kind of gun. Why are they so dead set on getting on this ship anyway? There's so many people they've hired to... penetrate their defenses. I think I was too old for Ben 10 to be good.
Maybe. It starts off like kind of really lighthearted, where it could be just episodic, deal with a new problem each episode type thing, and then later on they actually put
Defending
a
the
story arc
Constitution.
behind it.
Patrolling.
And I guess I've only seen bits and
All
pieces
is
of
well.
the like time skip spin-off or sequel series or whatever people want to call it, but that seemed fine from what I saw. It seemed like stuff got a little bit more complicated and serious. So when I was a kid, I was kind of turned off by it.
Oh man, that never would have Turned me off of the show.
Right, right. I guess because I didn't start off by episode 1, you know? The bits and pieces that I've seen were like right in the middle of everything, and I was like, I don't understand anything that's happening, so I can't watch it.
Dude, I started Full Metal Alchemist. Like,
Wow. Huh. There are no words.
Yeah, you did.
What's the
didn't
story
you?
with this place?
But at least they had recaps.
I was like contextually plugged in, so. Also, like, Ghost in the Shell, I liked a lot. And that's complicated as fuck. No matter what episode you start on, you're confused as shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Now it has enough nostalgia to get me through the first half, but not a second further. Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, hopefully we find ourselves someplace to go to that's nice and... or someplace to live that's like nice and cozy. Like whatever county that was in Michigan or something.
I think the reason why Alien Force got so serious is because the team changed. They now had Dwayne McDuffel doing it, who you might remember from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. That is interesting.
Your very presence does this humble unit a great honor. My programming would find it amiss if I did not also interject.
Okay.
On to the mission. Our last Marine expedition. Valiant, alas. With
I'll get right.
my anxiety and once you have reached.
Okay. Optional wrap power cables. Wow. You have a tibia in there? Why do you have a tibia in there?
Salem says, if you guys want to move here, just be ready to deal with 7 to 8 month winters. Lol. That sounds fantastic.
That does sound fantastic.
We're more winter people than we are summer people.
Yeah, I like the winter quite a bit. I could go with here's what I think. 1 month of summer. Maybe spring's unnecessary. You know what? Okay. We'll go 1 month of spring, 1 month of summer. Maybe okay.
And then split the rest half and half fall and winter.
2 weeks of spring. 3, yeah, let's go a whole month. A whole month of summer. And then I'll take like I'll take like 5 months of fall, and then 6 months of winter.
Fair.
Yeah. Let's drag the Earth someplace else so it can do that. Because that sounds much
Hell
better.
yeah. Everyone, start, like, putting
Lean-
more carbon dioxide in the air so that we can get this.
Everybody's like pissing and moaning about global warming. You know what the answer is blow up a bunch of bombs. Like, literally, just put a bunch of dust in the atmosphere so there's all clouds and it's winter all the time. Just shut the fuck up and do it.
Everyone, quick, breathe.
Like, people are like, oh, well, you know, the emissions and making the... It's like, you guys know what happens when a giant volcano erupts. It changes the climate, so just do it.
Yeah.
Why bother me?
Warning.
And, like,
Overdue for
because
the-
some of the stuff, like car exhaust and stuff, some of the stuff is true, but then they were all of a sudden like, also cow farts.
Controlling.
Because fuck cattle ranchers. And it's just like, that's not true, but then it has the same weight as things that are true, and it's
Yeah,
like...
because they want you to eat fucking
Worms.
veggie, fake meat.
They literally,
and worms.
at the same time, they were, like, in the Netherlands, they had these, like, crazy, like, riots and shit, of, like, farmers just showing up in the cities with weapons.
However, this is brought to light that
It's like when you have police officers that don't have guns, the dynamic is so different when someone's like 10 times as mad as the police officer. Like I saw some like thing with like a farmer who's like the politician had like police or whatever, and it was like did not matter. They're like smashing the car as they're driving away, and like all the people are so pissed none of the cops are doing anything. They're like, hey, don't, please.
Please don't. I
And
would
the-
really appreciate it if you didn't do that.
Yeah, it was like in the Netherlands. They were trying to force all farmers to euthanize all of their animals. Well, not all of them, but a huge percentage of their cows, which would cause them to just be significantly poorer because they can't produce. It's like a dairy farm, right? But they're like, oh, your cows are farting too much, so they have to die. And it's like, well, we don't, even if we wanted to turn them into meat and like sell the meat, we don't have that like system set up.
Don't worry, I'll get you up and running.
only for you,
Yeah, the
sir.
whole
Power relay
vegan
coils are common
better
enough
for the
fun.
environment
Might I
thing
recommend
pisses
checking
me
the
off
local
so much,
shopkeepers?
just because it's not true and it's just a ploy to sell your shitty fake meat.
It requires more land.
Yeah.
Permission to destroy. Intruder denied.
I had a friend who was
Warning.
converted to
Overdue for
veganism by the Haram, or was it? It wasn't Harambe. It was the Christopher the Lion. No, was it Christopher? It was some lion got shot by a crossbow from a dentist.
And that converted them?
They saw a meme, yeah, and then that converted them.
Wow.
That's also. Yeah.
Lion gets shot? Oh no, I better stop eating cows. An appropriate response.
And I had a discussion with him. He got so mad about it. And it's like, you've been vegan, you've been vegan for literally 24 hours, and he's like fuming, so pissed at me that I would question his decision. And it's just like, I'm like,
I mean, it's a decision based off of like some guilt, feeling like you need to absolve yourself or something.
yeah, it was just like Looney Tunes shit. He was like, well, if you, like, cows take so much energy because you have to convert plants into meat to have a better, like, energy transfer or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but, like, dude, your stomach can only hold so much stuff, like, you need nutrient-dense foods, and he's like, no, like, we won't have enough room on the planet if we have to eat meat. I was like, okay, well, not every area you can have cows, you can also grow plants. Like, you can have grass grow in places that you can't farm super successfully. Like, there's a lot of areas in, like, California where they have rock very close underneath the soil, so there isn't room for deep rooting stuff like a potato or something. And he's like, how do you know that they're not wasting, like, grass or whatever? It was just, like, stupid. And then I was like, okay, but what about, like, all the rodents and stuff that get torn up by a combine in, like, a field of, like, plants and stuff? And he's like, well, what about like apples that are picked off of trees? It's like, are you just gonna eat apples? He's like, maybe. And that was where the conversation ended. He got so mad. He was like screaming and red in the face, about to pop blood vessels in his face. But
Steady. I would applaud you.
Yeah.
Alas, cannot, due to my lack of clapping instruments. But huzzah, sir, huzzah!
I can only understand veganism if you need to do it for a specific diet for your
You were
health,
too kind.
or
I
if you
require
just
no
genuinely
further
don't
assistance.
like the taste.
But I'm
of
Mr.
meat.
Navigator.
I could totally
Who's
understand
also
someone
been sent
being
by
a
troubles.
vegan.
Scuttle buddies,
I can understand like someone being vegetarian a lot easier, but veganism means you're crazy. But being a vegetarian, it's like I had a friend who doesn't give a shit about animals. They just find it disgusting. They just find it gross. There's nothing moral about it. They just think it's nasty to eat an animal. Yeah, and that's literally 100% of it. They're like, oh, this is gross, and so they're just a vegetarian. But like, you know, and that's like that. Sure.
But you know, besides those two reasons, the only other reason people become vegan is to like have some moral high ground.
But what if
or
they're
look
like,
down on everyone.
what if they tell people they're vegan but they have like honey, and it's like, why do you have honey? And it's like, oh, I'm not like a moral vegan. I just think it's disgusting. Eggs come out of chicken pussy. So they're just like,
I don't drink what fish pee in.
They're just like, they have no, there's like no moral thing about it. They're just it's like, oh, it's fucking disgusting.
This sounds dangerous.
And then it's like why don't you eat meat? It's like, cause they poop. Ugh.
Ew.
You know how much cows shit?
Scavenger threat eliminated. Damage assessment.
And you know, like
will
when a cow shits, and then you know how the scent of something is like really like tasting, right? So then they're tasting their own shit because they can smell their own shit, and it's almost like they're eating their own shit, and then it's like going into their blood, and I can't eat meat. No, it's disgusting.
I mean, but it's also like the vegetables are grown from shit.
So then they just abstain
die.
from all food. You convince them to starve themselves to death. How do you feel now?
Aww.
I didn't know helping
The world's
you guys
probably
would turn
better
me
off.
into a target.
Less carbon dioxide.
Guiding system.
Who stole your guidance?
Human scavengers reclaimed.
Lethal forces.
Aft dinghy.
Okay, recover guidance chip. Meaning I have to go. I'm not gonna walk through the whole ship. You kidding me? Let's talk, gentlemen. Yeah. What if you meet someone and they're a vegan, but they're just like, ugh, I don't eat chicken pussy pods. Ew. Then they're like talking to other vegans, and it's like, oh, I just like want to help the planet, and you know, I want to like save the animals, and they're like, what are you, gay? What are you, a big homo? You know, like they're like an avid hunter because they hate animals, but they're just like, I'm a vegan because I don't want animals anywhere near my fucking food.
Yeah, anyhow, they just wanted to kill the frickin' robots.
So they were scavengers, but not with you.
Well, they were kinda with us. I mean, we're not really used to working together. It's not like anyone is in charge. But we do have an agreement. Everyone works together, gets an equal share. When you waltzed aboard the ship, those assholes just kinda lost it. They broke our agreement and paid for it. How did you get aboard anyway? We thought you were gonna get cratered for sure.
Interesting.
He knew I was an Army veteran, so he let me on the ship.
Army? Isn't that some old world mumbo jumbo? Whatever. So
Like you don't know what a soldier is? What are you, mentally like handicapped?
Oh, that's salvage. The real motherlode. Just waiting to be stripped and sold.
junk inside really that valuable?
Well, yeah, we could keep Diamond City in parts for months with all them gizmos. We'd never have to scrounge in the gutter again. So you talked with a tin can. What'd he have to say?
What do you think he said?
No freaking clue. The only talking we ever did to that rust bucket was him yelling at us about
This is the first time I've actually managed to, like, have
crap like that,
have
while
this much
his
of a conversation
robots
with these
tried to
guys.
murder us. So,
I remember a
what
little
did
bit
he
of this,
say?
but somehow it like ended in me just killing them.
Ironside says you stole a guidance chip. He wants it back.
His guidance chip, right. You know what he needs it for? His rockets. The huge goddamn rockets on the side of his boat. He's nuts.
So it's still his.
Rockets? Why is he building rockets?
Who knows? Maybe a bomb. Maybe he'll launch himself into space. Who cares? It's valuable as hell. That's what matters. Screw that robot and come work with us. There's dozens more of us nearby. It's only a matter of time before we come out on top.
I'm not splitting my share with him.
You holding out on us, Davies? You got some magical way in there? This guy's got a free ticket aboard, so shut up. Help us destroy that freaking tin can once and for all.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I probably want to help Ironsides just so I can get the cannon.
You're
Plus,
right.
like, these guys seem kind of like lame.
I'm not standing here for my health.
What would you do? Like if you were them and this guy just like doesn't answer, he's just like standing there. You know, he's got all his armor on, you can't see his face, you don't know what's going on.
What are you gonna do about it? Huh? Huh?
Yeah, I mean he's got
I'm
hydraulic
not standing
fists.
here for my health.
Yeah, or Honeydew says, don't do it. I like Captain Bot. I like him
Alright.
too. He says good
No
thing.
deal.
Good man.
I'm with
so.
Ironside.
Then
Good man.
screw
Good man.
you, asshole. You're
Also,
lucky we
they really don't
gun
have-
you down.
The best reason.
I
I
like
don't
that
have
we just
time
want
for
the
the likes
stuff.
of
We
But
just
it's like,
want it, and he's not
You're
using
here for
it
work.
for stuff that we want
Too
to
late.
use it for. So bad.
Excuse me.
you look really gay. This is fucking
Just
gay.
say it to his face. You look really gay, man.
What's going on
Yeah,
here?
it's kind of a He-Man thing going on, I guess. With, like the belt.
Yeah, I'm just like, he's got this helmet on, he's got this real, like, this mustache.
Yeah,
Just-
no need to protect the chest. The
going on
center
here?
mass. Where you're more likely to get shot. No, no, no.
Well, so, I mean, he's wearing a thing that would let you hook on, like, holsters and things like that. So
Yes.
it's a garment that makes sense, it's just like...
No, I'm saying that the bare chest.
Orders are
And
pretty
just
clear about
wearing
these.
that.
What's the matter with you?
What just happened?
You dislike that? How dare you dislike me stealing the thing for Captain Ironsides? Is there a way where I could be, like, cool about taking the guidance ship? Just be like, hey, listen, guys,
No
fuck
deal.
you.
I'm with Ironsides.
Then screw you.
Hey, Mandy.
Soon we'll own that ship.
Just shoot her
And
in the
you,
face.
asshole, won't get nothing.
It would be better for all of us if you just leave.
Hey,
Payday better be coming soon.
Once we get on that ship, we're set for life.
I mean,
Those scabbers
by
are under our
default,
protection.
I should, like, side with the humans, right?
Wait, what's the matter?
do How do you know that I
Stop
took it?
right there.
It could be anyone. Did you just, like, fucking beat that guy to death? Oh my god.
Nice. Good wife. Good wife, yes. So here's the question. if humans act like commies, are they still human?
Oh, good point. I feel better about it. Where's Mandy? She must have some good loot. She's acting like she had good loot. What, a vaporizer? Oh, that's Mandy. Alright. No, I guess I'll use this. Oh, there we go. Here. And then... Is it... No, I get up another floor. Yeah.
Yeah, Salem, in all caps, says, communist detective.
This place smells horrible.
Indeed.
Our Honeydew says, oh, started watching He-Man plus She-Ra, classic, avoiding the Netflix He-Man continuation, heard it sucked, same with their She-Ra.
well.
A gruesome twosome. Yeah, it seems like it. But
Defending
the
the
original
Constitution.
He-Man and the 2000s He-Man were pretty good. They were pretty solid.
You guys are such, like,
Warning.
masochists.
Overdue for maintenance.
No, look, like, all of you guys are mad. You and them, where you're like, I don't know, you guys still have hope. I just... Like, that like, new stuff is gonna be good.
No, I'm not saying that the new stuff is going to be good. The new stuff were terrible.
Yeah.
They were going to do a live-action He-Man movie. It got canceled.
Mm.
And a lot of people speculate it's because the Masters of the Universe reboot was so bad.
Mm. Yeah. It was really... It made me so happy when the Batgirl movie just got, like, canned.
Yeah.
It was so satisfying.
I love the response, too. Like, saying that it was irredeemable or beyond repair. Like, they made it sound like the worst movie that was ever produced.
What's the story with this
Like, the cost of distribution is so small compared to, like, the production thing, but the CEO was just like, this is so fucking bad.
This is so bad it will hurt our brand.
I think it hadn't been edited yet. So they were in the process of, like, doing that, but they just saw, like, raw footage and they were just like, yeah, this is just terrible. But he's, like, steaming.
Field is ours.
Or Honeydew's position is new stuff can be good, just has to be indie or Japanese.
I like that.
That's a big solid concept. Yay! Ring the bell.
Is there someplace I can go where I wouldn't set myself on fire?
Warning. Dangerous fugitive.
I want my
is
jetpack.
on the
I've never
loose.
wanted my jetpack
Do
more.
not attempt
Like, I need to be like
to
super high
use
level to have a jetpack.
of deadly force is in progress. Citizens are
Oh.
advised.
There's not a new wave.
Ahoy, soldier!
Wait, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. My quest marker says to go to you.
Give me the cannon.
What are you doing?
There is no honor in this.
It was just being very slow.
Situation.
Or Honeydew says, I would have preferred Batgirl over Flash. They tried to make it look like Tim Burton's Gotham.
Mr. Navigator.
Jeez.
Ahoy, soldier! Chip recovered. Dispensing bounty.
Oh man,
Diagnostics report.
that is such a shit show, huh?
Well, I
The guy who played the Flash.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that they kept that movie going, honestly. After all that stuff came out about him.
I don't know all the details because I know he's like.
It just got worse and worse, you know.
I know he's just like punched random women and children like. Like he punched a woman with her daughter and then punched her daughter and like ran away or something like that in Vermont or something like that. Like,
And this is the part where I bail you out again.
Soldier's statement is factually valid. Acquire Poseidon radar transmitter at
what? I
specified
think I know the
map
Poseidon.
coordinates. Further
Come on,
battle
guys,
will
give
be
me the cannon. It sucks anyway.
sir.
A lot of work for a cannon, huh?
Repair or replace. Oh no, I have high intelligence. I don't need to do stuff like that. I'm like that girl from that German fairy tale. I can just like
Yeah, you can just do.
fix.
Just
Okay.
do, just fix.
Repair or replace. Okay, but where is it?
For maintenance.
Or Honeydew also adds and groom the 12-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
I did hear about the
I know
pedophile stuff.
there's a bunch of stuff I don't know the details of, but I do know I did hear about that. Yeah, he started talking to a Native American girl from like a reservation for like since she was 12, and would fly her places to meet him since she was 12, and then I don't know when it happened, but he at one point her parents couldn't get in touch with her, and like it was kidnapping because like he wouldn't let her go back.
Yeah. Actual freak.
Yeah, I mean it's not like he was like he had her in a box or something, but like I think she wanted to go home and he was like, I don't feel like sending you on a flight, so figure it out yourself or something.
The 12-year-old.
Wow. Huh. There are no words.
But
If the scavengers keep seeking
call me a
folly and
cynic.
destruction,
You know, what I learned in school was that I can't quote this again, but I like every time I quote it, I'm like, what is this? Is a guidance system for salvage from a Coast Guard vessel. Practically, all its components have been repaired or replaced. The only Poseidon radar transmitter. A master repairman may be able to repair the dead transmitter. Hang on, I'm about to become a master. Excuse me, I can't exit my. Wait a second. Better need to exit it. It's not charisma. Don't worry, boys, girls. I'm a master repairman now. Take drugs. Succeed.
Ahoy, soldier. Guidance system fully functioning. Bounty dispensed. It is required you commence dialogue with the captain, sir.
Lots of
You've
things
been
that
of
go wrong in this
service
quest.
to our
Hard to say it
nobles.
often.
Despite ample provocation, I had hoped the guidance chip could be recovered without violence to the scavengers. Even now, they plot their retaliation.
Hey, I took it without violence. They chose violence.
Yeah. So I guess that would be down.
Why did you want me to spare the scavenger?
I confess they are a blight upon my existence. But they are citizens of the Commonwealth. I find I must reward.
Sure.
Good man.
I'm always happy to help.
I would expect nothing less. The ship requires turbo pump bearings from a nearby factory. It will undoubtedly be.
You. Give me the cannon, you fuck. Let's go repair this.
Or Honeydew asks, so did you hear the theory about why James Gunn is doing the Authority in the new DCU? I didn't hear
Warning.
any
Overdue
theory
for
per se.
maintenance.
So I'm gonna have to say no.
All is well. Patrolling. Defending the Constitution.
So does the guy actually like give you the cannon straight up, or do you like find it in some?
No, he gives it to you as a reward.
Okay. Honeydew asks, so what do you think of the new Lois Lane design absolutely blowing up in the Thirst crowd? I think you mean Thirst crowd? Maybe? I don't know, she looks like a 12-year-old boy to me. No, she does. She looks like the main character from Owl House. She looks almost exactly like her, who is supposed to, yes, be a child. And I find it a little bit distracting.
I find it so, like, Mortal Kombat, I think it was 10 or something, I found it so disturbing, the female designs, because they wanted to not, quote-unquote, sexualize them. And so, all the female character... So, wait, what's this? Oh,
Salem says, I like the design, but she doesn't look like Lois. Yeah, she definitely doesn't look like Lois.
Yeah, there's so many things to do at the Corvega assembly plant.
You know, if you want to ask me about my personal, what I think is attractive, I would rate that Lois design very lowly, because I think that the short haircuts don't look good on girls. That's my own personal bias. But,
I agree.
As someone who once had a short haircut, probably that exact same haircut, actually.
I oppressed
I
my
would say
woman.
I don't, yeah, I didn't like that haircut. I thought it looked bad on me, and, you know, etc., etc.
I oppressed my woman into growing her hair out. I'm much happier.
I was gonna grow it out anyway. Ugh. I also hate the shaved sides look on women. I think that also looks bad.
Yeah.
I don't even really like it on men that much, but it looks better on them than on, like, a girl.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
What are you, retarded? We're growing water from our water tower. And,
Sure.
you hold the water. Because I can't. And
That is
somehow
your design.
Anything you need.
You are the water holder.
That is your purpose. Let's take this water too. Where are you? Here.
Hey.
Hold water. It's perfect. Hey. Hey. Hold water. Hold as much water as you can. Now, let's put away all the junk. And, I'm gonna go to Bunker Hill.
KF Smash 64, welcome to the chat, says if she wasn't Lois and another character, I'd dig it, but as of now, hell no.
Oh, yeah. Finish what I was saying. Mortal Kombat X, they wanted to not make the characters sexualized or something, but what that translates into is taking all the sexual features away from the female characters, and that just turns them into prepubescent girls that have been stretched into an adult size, and that disturbed me so much. I played through the game
What exactly
as
is
Shao
this
Kahn,
place?
and I was like, oh cool, I get to be a big, jacked, like mostly naked guy. And then I was done with my playthrough, and then I
Hey,
was
no
like,
offense, but you ain't caravan folk. Beat it.
Hi, I'm Meg.
who talks like that to a guy in power? I guess I have a goofy set of power armor, so sure.
Load a little heavy there? I'll buy it.
Sure. Let's take a look.
You may have to dig a little.
Okay. Do you have anything I want? No. All right. Now
We're all safe now.
Now we perform. What do you mean I can't exit my power armor here? Give me. And then I'm gonna sit on a stool. And let's do 24 hours.
I will say good on them for still having straight romances.
Not incredible.
However, it does feel very gay how they do it.
I thought it was kind of a quaint concept to have Superman have a romance with like a regular person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Does this do anything, or is this not actually doing anything? It might not actually be doing anything. I want to change the traders that are here. I don't know if I can do that by waiting. I think I might have to travel away and travel back. Yeah, comic books are so painful. Because, like, I don't know. Deegan, don't talk to me. Your quest is terrible. It's literally an Ancient Aliens quest that they made canon in this game.
We need to have a conversation.
Edward Deegan, leave me alone. Your quest is garbage. They should never... No one should have approved that quest. It is so... It is just... The lore implications are just horrendous.
Just so you understand what I mean, by the way. So this is the new Lois.
Okay.
That's what they made Lois look like.
Okay.
This is the main character from Owl House.
Alright,
it's the same character.
Literally, yeah, that's...
It's the same
earrings.
hair color, same eye color, similar shirt. It's just earrings.
Same calf exposed, leggings.
But you know what I mean. So I can't help always look at it the same way. But yeah, it does not look anything like Lois Lane.
That's a horrible character design.
I'm not a fan. But I guess if you're into a particular type, maybe you're into that type.
Yeah, it seems like they were like, all right, you're gonna design Lois Lane, and they were like, I want to design an Indian Velma, and they're like, all right, do whatever you want. we don't even make money here. We're just propped up by our ESG score, so just
do whatever.
Do anything you want, short of.
I honestly, I hate like all of the character designs in that show. All of them are bad. All of them.
She just blinked out of existence. Teleported behind me.
Yeah, she's going to the other realm. Goodbye.
Set the back up far enough, and she's just like.
Ice cream, yum yum.
I sympathize with the people that are like in the grips of
Hello, babe.
Just like ran too long in one direction.
Baby. Is it my birthday?
Ugh. Yeah, I can sympathize with people who have that weird
NPC fetish.
Yeah, because like I dodged that bullet, but like I feel like I easily could have been
What's the story with this
susceptible
place?
to that.
Yeah.
Easily. But like watching that like just freaks me out. It's so weird.
There's definitely a lot of things I could have been easily susceptible to as well.
It's like, because I still, when I see Mario, like, when I see the, like, Mario, like the more older version of Mario's face,
Got a
I guess,
hankering for melting face? Then I'm your guy.
I have this, like, feeling of, like...
I'll take a look. Sure.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, like,
Let's
friend,
fuck some shit
kind
up.
of. That sort of feeling. Because, you know, I played a lot of that, when I was little and didn't have a whole lot of access to kids to hang out with and stuff. So, you know, I could totally see. Yeah, I mean, especially if you were just slightly younger than me and you're going through puberty. Man, I don't know.
Hey.
Lead on.
Yeah. I think parents should probably have
Come on, get your guns here.
a
Small
pretty
booms,
pretty decent amount
Let's
of
see what you have.
control
Guns,
over like
guns,
what
and more.
media they let their kids have.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I know
like-
that's like not the most popular take, but I will say I think internet has proven itself to be dangerous over the years.
Yeah, no, for fucking sure. Like, was it the Matt Walsh was like he had some kind of like real fucking spicy take on you know, like all that whatever stuff with like letting his kid, like not letting his kids have like smartphones or whatever. And then someone replied and was just like, you can't stop, like, it was some kind of, you know, like someone was hate following him and was like, it's like, lol, pathetic conservative thinks he can have any control over his children. And then he was like, I do? He's like, unless I buy something for them, they can't have it unless they make money and buy it for themselves. So of course I have control. And he was like, I love these like impotent like people with no control over their own lives, assuming that I'm as pathetic as they are. And it's like, whew.
Jeez. Yeah, right.
He's like, they can have a smartphone when they're 18, can get a job and pay for it themselves. It's like, okay.
Horror Honey2 asks, so what is worse, Injustice game storyline or Hydra Captain America storyline?
The Hydra Captain America story, like, Stan Lee had stayed quiet on like everything that like Marvel was doing, but he publicly stated that he was like disgusted by that storyline. Like,
It's pretty bad, right?
he
So-
just fucking hated it so much, like worse than everything else. I've heard a conspiracy that Stanley hasn't made anything. Like, he hasn't created any characters. He's always co-created characters, and therefore he's
There's,
likely
like-
taking other people's ideas.
Yeah, people have controversy with Stan Lee saying that most of the characters he actually just didn't have any involvement in creating, but he like put his name on it and took credit away from other people. I don't know how true it is. Maybe that's true for some characters, who knows? But, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, typically the most successful people in a corporation tend to be the psychopaths that can like take credit from other people.
Sure. But also keep in mind, when they were like first starting off with their superhero comics, it wasn't a whole lot of people. Like, it wasn't big.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can really argue that he didn't do anything.
Let's see what
Like,
kind
I'm sure
of
he
armor you've got.
contributed.
Yeah, and he was... He was, like, kind of pivotal in, like, convincing people to do superhero stories in the first place. There's also something to be said about people who are good at collaborating and, like, getting stuff to happen. At the same time, though, like, my dad, he worked for a company, and he had all these stories of people who would, you know, like, steal ideas from other people. he told me this story where it was like this guy tried to take credit for his idea, right? Like, my dad came to him and was like, I want to get this idea, like, I want to do this idea, but my dad felt like he needed that guy to promote the idea for him, because he wasn't, like, I don't know, whatever reason he had. I'm just gonna put away non-heavy weapons. I'll keep this, I guess, because it's cool. I'm just gonna put away this stuff rather than try to sell it or do something, just so it's out of my goddamn inventory. Now, spray and pray. I wanted to buy that not because I want to use it, but because I want to. Previously, I had a mod that let me extract the legendary effect from something and put it on something else. I don't have that mod because it's so buggy and shitty. But I am going to get the explosive effect on this minigun. Get player grabbed ref. Okay. And I'm gonna go find the effects. Explosive. Okay. Okay. And then that's FF008D01.amod. And that.
Nice.
Ta-da. Now, this mod, or this legendary effect, is very exciting because it has a high rate of coming back to bite me in the ass. Case in point. The explosive damage hurts you, and because the bullets fire so quickly, you can kill yourself very quickly. Because it's... yeah. And it increases the damage of a minigun drastically. I still think the most damaging thing you can do in this game... because it's increasing it by 15, so it was... actually, 32 seems higher than it's supposed to be. Now... 32. Let's check this. If I increase Demolitions Expert, be 25% more. 37 damage now. So it does increase the damage. Interdesting. So that's kind of neat. I don't know, how many perks should I invest in that? I have tons of perks right now, so I don't know. I don't really use too many explosive weapons, so I'll just chill. I want to get a missile launcher, and then I can play more with explosive weapons, I suppose. Oops. Nice going out obliterating your body. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I got this legendary effect, so I could Canada myself very successfully. Now here's the I forget who said they lived in Michigan. Here's the issue with living in Michigan. You're closer to Canada, right? So cold is great, but now Canada. What if Canada starts pumping out Canadians into the U.S. that are like fleeing from? What if they're like the new Californians, mass migrating out? I want to see how that goes. Like, does the mass exodus from California lead to those Californians being turned red, or do they lead to bringing the shitty politics that destroyed California to other states? Because the jury's still out on that, right? We don't really know. My prediction is that they're going to turn red, but you know, that's like mass exodus mass exodus of wokeists. That issue has not been dealt with, really. So I'm curious to, like, if those states do have a problem with that, and then start, like, I don't know, aggressively, or like, figure out a way of, like, that sort of conversion to the more, the way of thinking that's, like, more suitable to the area. If that becomes something that's, like, more common or more normal or more typical, that would give me greater confidence in going up to the far north. I do like the cold, and yeah. Also, like, obviously cheap land and stuff would be cool. Because it would be nice to have a bunch of land, right? Like, imagine this, like, fantasy, you know? Indulge my far-flung fantasies for a moment. So, get a big house, right? Get a big house in, like, middle goddamn nowhere. And, like, theoretically, you know, we make money on the internet, so we can kind of live anywhere there's internet, which is basically anywhere, especially, like, if Elon Musk's, like, pipe dream of... Oopsies. Elon Musk's pipe dream of, satellite internet, like, really takes off, which I guess it kind of has. Then you could kind of live wherever. I mean, you know, other jobs can't be worked remote necessarily, although a lot of jobs can, so I guess that's changing. Property value will be skyrocketing everywhere, but assumedly, property value is more... Oh, that looks kind of pretty with the grass growing out from it. Assumedly, property value is influenced by jobs nearby to the location. So it would be cool to go move someplace that's cold as fuck, doesn't have a lot of bugs, and a place where strangers won't be, like, coming into our yard, like, trying to ask our children about their pronouns.
Salem says, most of the Canadians near me are pretty conservative. They're pretty awesome, to be honest, and they're culturally the same as we are in my immediate area.
Sick.
That's good.
The only Canadians I've met have been cool. So, as far as I know, they're all cool.
Hey, Matthew Atkinson, welcome to the chat.
Hey.
Says there are places in the U.S. that match a lot of that. IDK if you have to go all the way to Canada. No.
I can't go to Canada because...
Not going to Canada, no.
If I miss lunch, they might try to have me commit suicide.
Yeah, right.
Or is that the U.S.? Is the U.S. Murdering anorexics now? Did you hear about that? If you're anorexic,
in the U.S.?
I think it's the U.S. Or no, was it Canada? I can't remember now. But
I would be appalled if they were in the U.S.
So I think they approved. Sorry, it was called assisted suicide. Then it was called aid in dying. I don't know what it's called now, but I met the CEO, like the leader of that whole organization that got it started in the U.S. Where you to allow people to euthanize themselves, and she was like, "Oh, it's really hard. We have a lot of struggles. We have a lot more battles to fight because you have to have this, like, really explicit consent, and you have to have
permission.
You have to have, you have to see a therapist and make sure and stuff. And some people, they're so far gone they can't really provide all that really detailed consent, and it's like, well, you know why that's bad, right? Because people could murder you."
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, yeah, oh no, that wouldn't be good. And it's like she's like not concerned at all. It's like it wasn't even at the forefront of her mind. She was
Like,
so
that wouldn't be good, but that would never
she was so
happen.
relaxed talking about like what they had to do, as though like she didn't expect anyone at the school I was at to ever question just like killing people.
Nothing will change.
She's like, oh,
unless
it's like,
you
know,
make
we
it
have
happen.
to, they just have to die. But no, I think they proved it for anorexia. So not only can depressed veterans be recommended suicide and then be denied medical benefits if they won't meet with a therapist who will work to convince them to kill themselves over like an hour session, then they can then get like medical treatment if they survive it. And then now they've approved it for people with anorexia. They can Canada them.
So better not let anyone know you're anorexic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll try convincing you to kill yourself.
Have you ever had... Just imagine that. It's like, have you ever had dark thoughts of hurting yourself? It's like, yeah, sometimes. Like, let's focus on those thoughts and try to like really drum up some more reasons that that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of therapy?
Let's validate these thoughts.
Yeah. Psycho.
Just like actually someone who likes people dying. Let's see. Matthew Atkinson says, Canada has all the healthcare jokes. I fear we may be speed running our way to that mindset soon, though. I hope not, honestly. That's definitely... Yeah. I mean, people use the term slippery slope to refer to a lot of things, but yeah, obviously, when you give people permission to just kill other people, and you just keep on extending the reasons as to why you can kill another person, you know that's probably not going to turn out super great. But, you know. Let me paint a picture for how things are up here. During the 2020 riots, a few punks tried to start a riot. Within hours, the regional militias were patrolling the streets, and that shit stopped fast. Well, I do like living in an area where there's no riots.
Second.
I'm reading the chat.
What chat say?
Let me paint a picture of how things are up here. During the 2020 riots, a few punks tried to start a riot. Within hours, the regional militias were patrolling the streets, and that shit stopped fast.
Fuck yeah. Dude, that's what I like. I heard that in Ohio, too. Like, 2,000 guys showed up with AR-15s, and they were like, oh, I guess we can't BLM here.
Our honeydew says, funny thing, well, not haha funny, but ironic, when the movement comes, most people tend to fight back. When confronted with death, the panic kicks in.
Yeah, I was talking to this, like, Canadian guy not that long ago. A couple years ago, though.
That's some
and
serious protection.
He was telling me this story about how he was like hanging out at a mall, and then this like some like Pakistani kids were like, you like white trash, or were like saying like anti-white racist stuff to them, and then they were like trying to start a fight with them, and then they just like made fun of them, and then they like, you know, I think they didn't like full out like fight them, but they shoved them and like, get the fuck out of here. And then the Pakistani kids like ran off crying or whatever. And then they showed up with like a Pakistani mob of like a bunch of Escalades, and they came out with like baseball bats and stuff to go like beat them up, and then they ran away and etc. And I was like, what the fuck? I like didn't even think it was a real story because I was like, what the fuck? How'd you run into Pakistani people in Canada? And they're like, oh, we have a ton of Pakistani people. I was like, what? Why? How? And I didn't know that they had like, you know, shipped them there. But it just seems like such a random place because it's so like geographically far away. It's like, it makes like no sense.
Right. Or Honeydew says, what if assisted suicide isn't as humane as they say? Like, once you walk into the room, you notice a tracksuit gentleman holding a bat with a nail in it. Can't really complain, besides who you telling after? Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper that way. Yeah, if you want to save money.
The whole thing is so weird. So, like, I saw a documentary on it, and, like, he was trying to show, like, the positive aspect of it.
Ugh.
And it was, like, I don't know. It was, like, everyone's getting together for her death, and it's, like, I don't know. It's so weird. They filmed them, like, coming into the house, and they're like, oh, welcome, yeah, and it's like, this is fucking weird, guys.
It's like a cult. Like, we're sacrificing her today.
Like, all her relatives are so uncomfortable, and they're like, I guess she's super pumped about dying today, so I guess I gotta be supportive.
Yeah.
It was like she looked pretty healthy, and like, I don't know. It was so weird. I remember like, cause she looked okay, and she was like, oh, that's what's wrong with our society. Like, you know, I lost all this weight, and people are telling me that I look healthy. And it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, you tend to, right? But I don't know. It's just so weird.
People complimenting me is what's wrong with our society today. People keep telling me I look healthy. That's what's wrong. Like, come on.
It's like, like, I think it's she's like, oh, it tells you a lot about society. It's like, it tells you a lot about you, you fat fuck. How come it took you like to be on chemotherapy before you got into healthy shape? Which is, what do you?
You again.
It's like
All
some
right,
people
got plenty of
do
supplies.
paleo or keto or something.
Let's see what you got.
Just don't call it junk.
Tubing in some Nuka-Cola so you can. Oh, finally they sell 5mm after like 10 million years of me. Now that I finally started producing it, I'm at the level where they're like, fine, we'll sell you the ammo. It's like, I understand if like the guns don't show up, but like, why is the ammo not showing up? It's like one of the first guns you give me in this game. I wonder how different it is. That's 574 for the whole ream. So a ream is for paper, but apparently, according to like some
piece in here is worth what I charge
Modern
for
History
it.
TV
No arguments.
Video I saw, they had terms for
Let's see what you
different
have.
quantities
Just
of
don't call it
eel,
junk.
because so many people in medieval ages ate eel. It's fucking nuts. I think it's five eels is a stitch of eels. And so, like, if you showed up, let's see, what was it? 5mm. It's the same value, in or out of the power armor. How'd that happen? Before it was like screwing me over when I had power armor on. Huh. Oh, this is just like Insidious. It's in my miscellaneous, and it costs, and it weighs 0.1. Well, I'm gonna keep that. That seems interesting.
By the way, we've been streaming for like 3.5 hours.
Okay. We could storp soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking I want to eat some din.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably. I'll wait. I'm also kind of doing super goddamn boring stuff. Although it's easier to like talk when you're doing stupid boring stuff.
I guess so, yeah.
It's like the trade-off. I guess that's like the nice thing about streaming this is you have like downtime. It's not all downtime or not all like. It's weird because like a turn-based game, you kind of have no. It's all downtime, but I don't know. Somehow it makes it harder to. You have to like really regulate when you're gonna talk and play or whatever, because otherwise it's just like. So it's almost like if you don't play enough, like if you don't vocalize what you're doing in a turn-based game, it kind of just turns into like nothing's happening. Like it's just like the same as, you know.
Nice piece you got there. Just keep it holstered.
You need protection, everybody does.
Oh, this person's funny.
Hey, Mo.
Now,
don't be shy.
Is this a new
You're
character?
never too old to own a swatter.
Well, he's cool.
A swatter?
What's a swatter? Rookie, eh? A swatter, my friend, is a Diamond City tradition. See, it used to be that this whole place was a stadium. And two teams would meet and play a game called baseball. One team would beat the other team to death with these things called baseball bats. And the best bats were called swatters. True fact.
Look, dumbass, that's not how baseball was played.
Yeah, right, Mr. Smarty Pants? Hey, if you're such an expert, how do you think it was played?
What should I say?
I mean,
The teams would also beat the spectators to death. That's how the term spectator sport got started.
Good answer.
I like
she
my
like
version
that.
better. Now, can I interest you?
You can
What's
you can
a
answer it
swatter?
multiple times.
Rookie. One team would beat the other.
I just love this response.
Look, dumbass, that's not how baseball was played.
Yeah, right, Mr. Smarty Pants? Yeah, if you're such an
It's
expert,
it's
how
like
do you think it was played?
calculated use of profanity really makes lines pop.
There were balls, strikes,
Yeah.
3 bases, and home runs. You kept score by how many runners made it to home plate.
Sounds good to me.
I like my version better. Now, can I interest you?
I thought he would be a useful vendor,
Thirsty.
but he just sells the baseball bats.
Coca-Cola.
Like, he doesn't sell
Got
other
some great
melee
stuff
weapons.
if you're interested.
This guy sells all the other melee weapons. Oh, right. I have to talk to you.
yeah, kind of funny how that worked out. We got a specialist vendor for just baseball bats.
Don't be caught
Yeah,
dead.
he also sells wood and cork.
Wait, yeah.
Sure thing.
If you want to have corked bats or whatever, it's like a whole scandal.
No
Some
sins
point in
allowed
history.
of the surplus.
Give people some Canadian healthcare.
Hey, Georgie.
If you're looking to keep your load light, we could talk
the
about an
bat,
old-fashioned
yeah.
pistol,
Oh.
anything else you
Right.
might need.
I thought you were talking about cork. It's like,
Sure.
what do they do with corks?
Let's take a look.
Everything hand-told.
Now, he doesn't sell it? Like, he doesn't sell the ammo? Why? What? How queer. Alright. Let's offload some purified water for caps.
Hey.
Sure.
Carry like a bunch of purified
Anything you
water.
need.
You watch your step. Got my eye on you.
Much more relaxed thing compared to the normal leaping out of the suit. Leaping in and out of the suit. Okay.
Is there like a decent stabbing point?
Yeah, I was just gonna throw the ingredients into the press thing.
Okay.
Probably finish getting the cannon off stream, though. We'll just do the main quest next time we stream.
Yeah, alright, that's fine. You can show off the cannon and show people why it's cool.
Oh, there's still plenty of fertilizer in there. Oh, so I got the wrong thing, huh? Should have gotten this shipment of steel. Okay. Well. Anyway. I do have a happy story. A fantastically happy story. We were talking about Canadian healthcare, so I think I've...
Yeah, you've earned your right to tell a happy story now.
Yeah. Okay. So. Settle in for a nice, happy story with a nice colonial statue over there. Some American hero, I don't know who it is. So we got a tree cut down recently, and it was a very big tree. And while the tree was being, the tree was so big, in fact, that it was 3 trees that had grown together very, very long time ago. So it was indistinguishable from one tree, but it was a huge tree, very wide, and while it was being taken down, I was working out with my cousin, and we were in the front room, right, because we couldn't be outside, and so, because, you know, the tree is so big that it, like, you know, anywhere stuff could be falling on you, anywhere, any part of the house. It was just so goddamn big. There was, yeah, like, in taking down the tree, they were talking about, like, oh, well, you know, if this goes wrong, it could take out the house or whatever. You know, we don't want this or that. You know, oh, normally we'd use a big crane for this, but you know, it's a lot of risk with the house being so close. Right, you know, it could just destroy the whole house, and you know. Anyway, so we're working out, and out the window we see the neighbor's kid is sitting in the grass with grandpa. Young grandpa is like kind of laying on his side, and the kid's like all snuggled up with grandpa, and they're watching the crane, and the crew like saw off sections of the tree and then carry it down with the crane and whatever. And the kid is like so fascinated, like he's enthralled by just watching the heavy machinery go and everything, and kid just looks like happy, and it's just this like idyllic scene of they're like on this perfectly green grass lawn. It's like super thick grass, just like, you know, and the sunlight's like filtering through the leaves, and they're, you know, just, it's like a
the good old days.
Yeah, and I was like looking at that. I was like, oh, that's so quaint. And my cousin's like also sort of like transfixing. He has a big smile on his face, and he's like, I bet that's that's going to be one of his first memories. Like when he remembers childhood, he'll probably still remember this. It'll be like one of the first things he remembers doing with his grandpa, was watching the tree come down. And it was cute. It was happy. And what made me more happy than the kid is that my cousin was had a big smile on his face, because in like saying this, because he was saying, like, I don't think I want to have kids. But I think he's saying that because he doesn't have the money for kids right now, and he doesn't have a girlfriend. But, like, I think he would be a good dad.
I think it's pretty easy to fall into the mindset of I don't want kids when you've been single for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, single and broke puts people in that mindset. But I think he'll get himself on his feet and be in a position to have kids. How does he not bite his tongue? He's like making all these like chewing noises, but his tongue is...
He's eating in his sleep.
You awake?
Did he wake up? You woke him
still
up.
got your tongue sticking out.
Oh, you woke him up.
You are stupid.
Hey, buddy. Welcome to the real world.
Hey, buddy.
What's a potato?
Aw.
Short for potato?
Good morning, Gergie. Oh, you okay? You want a belly rub now? Okay. All right. Well, anyway.
Now, the real world's so good because you get pets.
Anyway, guys, hopefully that little cheery, happy story has put you in a more pleasant mood than any of the other bummer stuff that I inevitably talk about, you know. Anyway, let that be a palate cleanser. Happy little boy with happy grandpa watching a tree get sawed down.
Hell yeah, man.
And if you're curious, the high score of the tree was 110 years. They counted the rings. There was a couple blurred rings. We have some like tree scientist that like is in our neighborhood, and they came by and wanted to look at the tree and stuff. And so they were saying there was a couple blurred rings, which means that could be, that's at least 1 year. So they counted all the blurred rings as 1 year, but it could be multiple years. There's like some instrument I think you can check or something how many rings is within a blurred ring. But so yeah, they counted several of those. So it's at least 110 years, probably older, maybe like 120 or something. A great old oak.
Yes. A massive boss we took down.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah. It was very cool. So, thanks for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I was just like take a peek at chat and make sure I'm not ignoring anybody.
Yeah. It says it was a good stream. Now to handle an art commission. Makes me sad hearing so many people my generation younger say they don't want kids.
Well, don't worry too much about that. I hear a lot of people talking about having a whole lot of kids. And I've noticed a lot of people with like a lot of like young parents that have like 3 or more kids. So population decline is
yes, definitely need to fix population decline.
Also, the Amish, at their current trajectory, in 215 years, the majority of the country will be Amish.
Just because they're having so many damn kids.
100% German, conservative. Literally so conservative they refuse to adopt new technology.
Yeah.
And in 250, at their current growth rate, they'll be the dominant population. Like it'll be in 215 years, the country will be 51% Amish if all things continue on the same rate, immigration and growth rates of everybody else.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out, being part of the stream. Greatly appreciate it. If I didn't see you in chat, that's because I didn't look at the chat the entire time because it's on Trisha's laptop. So, anyway.
Good night, everybody. See you on the next stream.